how are you doing, man?
I'm great, man. I'm excited for these players. As any Dota player knows, playing Dota is about winning at least 40%. So regardless, I think these guys are going to be really excited because it's a competitive environment. It's something they can do that's more exciting than just playing pubs. So excited to see how that channels into this series.
Yeah, I mean, I'm personally really pumped because I'm a huge fan of, for instance, the built-in Battle Cup of Dota 2. I am a little Dota 2 tryhard, and that's really the whole point of this entire thing. It takes so much effort and so much work to be a professional player. So is there some sort of in-between? Yes, that's what this league is for, man. You don't have to be the tippy-toppest playing 80 hours a week. No, you can just squeeze it in inside your work schedule, and we'll just run the tournament for you. Let's introduce the teams that are going to be playing, starting with the fine folks over at Workday. Their charity is Doctors Without Borders, which help give people worldwide where the need is greatest, delivering emergency medical aid and people affected by conflict, epidemics, disasters, or exclusion from healthcare. Doctors Without Borders tends to be quite heavily represented throughout the AHGL. It's a fantastic charity. And the fine folks at Workday, interestingly enough, were not one of the tip-top contenders throughout the entire season. They went 5-2 in their regular season as they made their way to the finals. Kevin, talk to me a little bit about what you see. Oh my God, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, I didn't realize this. Workday, I mean, I know that they're known for their financial and HR software, but I didn't realize that they were masters at Photoshop too. Look at that levitating man on the right.
I'm not even convinced that the guy in the pink shirt on the far right is even there. It feels like they've staged just a bit. Maybe they should get medical help for the guy without legs. I'm not sure.
Well, they can't provide the medical help, but they can provide the software that will help get him what he needs.
That's true. Well, I looked through the Dota buffs of this team, at least, and a lot of them are very long-time Dota players. In fact, almost everybody in this lobby has very, very long play time. I've played matches with, like, I think at least 3 of the players on the team that's playing today over the years. Some games from like 2012, some games from 2015, but it's kind of a mix of MMRs, jumping from about Ancient to Divine Fives. I think one of the guys is ranked higher than I am as well. So like this is pretty capable Dota players, so it should be a good match.
I mean, I'm really excited to see that. I know that in some of their games they tend to play around their position 4 and 5s quite a bit. Try to focus on just getting as much farm as possible to their top 3 cores. They're going to be playing against Team Microsoft today. Team Microsoft also, interestingly, went not super high in the regular season. They were seeded number 10 as they went 4-4 and barely made it into the bracket play at the end of the season.
Which is it's really interesting. I think as you guys noticed, there's more than 5 humans in this picture. So that might explain some of the upset, I guess you could say, of them qualifying. Shout out to that. That's a TI2 Tidehunter shirt, by the way. That's an OG Dota player right there.
Loving it.
But if you play with over 5 people and you're trying to fit in a lot of people into a stack, sometimes your results will become a little bit up in the air based on who's playing that day. So my guess is when things start to get a little hairy, then they start pulling in the big guns and try to solidify their chance of going to the finals. So I'm sure that's what's happened here.
Yeah, it's been really interesting seeing them pull together in their run-up to the grand finals. Team Microsoft will be playing for the charity Child's Play, a charity that seeks to improve the lives of children in pediatric hospitals and other welfare facilities through the kindness and generosity of the video game community and the power of play. Also a very popular charity in AHGL. Now, the teams have set up the lobby. We're going to be going into the draft the very moment that the team captain, Sleepy, hits that go button. And I want to give just a brief note. If you look at the brackets, there's actually several teams in some of the larger companies. You'll see several Microsoft teams. In fact, Microsoft defeated Microsoft in the quarterfinals. Google defeated Google in the quarterfinals. And Facebook defeated Facebook in the quarterfinals. And if you have multiple teams, due to the fact that you're a very large company, you're given the opportunity to name your team. And Microsoft has named themselves Bane and Marana Ganks, and their team name literally is Bane and Marana wearing sunglasses, looking at each other, and biting their lower lip.
It's so good, man.
It's so good.
And Marana's getting popular again too. I saw her she got played a little bit last night at the China Super Major. I think she got picked at least like 2 or 3 games. It's actually pretty encouraging.
I mean, for any of you who don't know, the Bane and Marana gank is one of the most glorious of combos, where Bane does the ultra long duration nightmare, which gives even the most terrible of Marana shooters, such as myself, time to carefully aim my mouse cursor, clicking directly upon the dude, and there ain't no worry. Oh, Workday instantly bans Naga Siren, which I believe is a relatively common pick for both of these teams.
Yeah, it's a pretty safe one to grab to get out of there, just because it's very good at setting up easy kills. It helps you control team fights that might be going a little bit bad, things like that. What I want to point out is the flag usage here. Now, I don't know if either of these groups do a lot of graphic design, but in Dota 2, there's a common error where you make this little square image and you slap it in your flag, but in reality, there's a front of the flag image, and right next to it is the back of the flag. So really, the Microsoft logo is... The rest of it is actually on the backside of the flag, whereas Workday perfectly executed their flag.
Wow. I mean, Workday really an extraordinary amount of precision with that flag placement. But I gotta say, I really do kind of like the treat. It's kind of like, you know, like a double-sided jacket where it's black on the outside, and boom, you turn it inside out, it's yellow.
That's my favorite thing, actually. Have you ever had like a pocket that's a different color on your jeans or something?
Oh, dude,
that got me so jazzed when it happened finally.
Ooh, Witch
like
Doctor.
Lime green.
Very safe first pick from Workday. Witch Doctor, I feel like, is one of those ultra solid in the laning phase. Pretty straightforward to play, and just, man, these people draft a hell of a lot faster than pros.
Yeah, they do. It's less about
warp speed.
It's less about ultimate strategy, and I think it's a lot more about comfort heroes and what your team is experienced with, I guess, because, you know, when you're playing with non-pro players, you don't have as much time to refine things. It's easier to make mistakes, and getting out of your comfort zones is a lot of what makes you solidified as an effective player. And I'm sure you've experienced this as well. If you're having a rough day, or maybe you're not focusing as well, or maybe if you're trying a hero that you're not as familiar with, it can really limit your performance, and you'll lose opportunities. So it's better to stick to things that you understand, that you're comfortable with, that you know what to do when you're behind and ahead and everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's kind of interesting in talking to these teams. Like, tell me a little bit about your styles, your play style. Both teams actually just said, here's the heroes that each player on our team generally tends to stick to. And certainly at pro levels, there's that signature player, or excuse me, signature hero for different pros. But, dude, let's be honest. We are not playing at the tippy-toppest of pro levels. Comfort and skill with a hero, I feel like, is so much more important than any other factor.
Especially for reasons like if you have MMRs that aren't as consistent, your weaker player, it's really important sometimes that you get them on their best hero by far, even if it doesn't quite fit in the meta, because trying to force them to play... Like, for example, I played this LAN once where one of our players was really good at Winter Wyvern right when he got overpowered. And then right when they started first round banning it, the whole game was a little bit different. And then our other support players started getting banned out because her better heroes were just completely targeted. And then she's forced to play line, but wasn't as comfortable knowing when to blink initiate, for example. So it's very important that you get those picks out of the way. But so far, for both teams, all these picks look super normal. Eventual Spirit might seem a little weird to you guys if you haven't been watching any of the Super Major games, but Venge has been seeing some play this week as well. So Sand King super standard, Witch Doctor slightly in and out, but Leshrac is also one of the commons. So just this looks super normal so far. Yeah,
and Workday I know really likes the Leshrac pick, often running it in the off lane, which is pretty interesting. But
it's not that weird. I think Optic Elise has been doing this. They'll do Lesh support in the off lane just because you can spam Lightning Storm a lot. And it did get nerfed on cast range, I believe, was the thing that it got nerfed on, so you can't spam it. It was like 800 range or something ridiculous. I didn't, or something like that. It was like something abnormally large. But it's effective at just zoning your opponents a little bit, winning the lane, basically.
Yes, Gyrocopter, the choice from Microsoft, Bane and Marana Ganks, which I realize is now a play on the phrase Bill and Melinda Gates.
Okay. Did you figure that one out? I never would have gotten that.
No, Eric had to type it to me in chat. Okay. And I love the fact that they're honoring the extraordinary people, Bill and Melinda Gates, by, again, having Bane biting his lower lip with sunglasses on. So this is comparing him to
really... which one of... I guess Bane is Bill, huh? I guess that's better. I was worried it would be the other way around, and then Melinda would be compared to a nightmare monster with no lips, but it's good.
Are you kidding me? Dude, Bane is the man, Marana is the man. And it looks like Gyrocopter is a signature hero from Team Microsoft. Really like the ability for Gyro to do that flash farming. Luna was also a pretty common pick for Microsoft. We see Workday banning that as 4th ban. Oh, let me tell you, Brewmaster. Now this is not high-level analysis, Kevin. I just want to say that the Drunken Haze sound effect is one of the top 10 sound effects in all of Dota 2.
I'm gonna agree with that. I think it's. Oh yeah, that's the after effect. I think you only hear that if it's cast on you.
Oh, that's right.
I might be wrong.
Yeah,
maybe I haven't paid attention as much lately.
I've been playing a lot of melee hard carries and running into Brew relatively often in the off lane. And the first time I heard that noise, I was like, I can't get any last hits. This sound effect is awesome.
It's affecting your. It was just like a psychological thing. The sound effect just ruined your ability to last hit.
That's true.
Something like that, I think.
So it looks like going to be a Wind Ranger. Could be off, could be mid. Typically, we've been seeing from Microsoft the Wind Ranger run in the off lane.
There's been some supports as well. I believe maybe I'm thinking of the other team, but Wind Ranger off lane, she can kind of work in every lane right now, except for maybe hard carry is not the smartest. But Death Prophet pick, this honestly looks like it could be a pro game in terms of picks so far. The only ones that are slight outliers is Wind Ranger's kind of hit or miss as well. Yeah. But I don't know. I like the. I think the Venge pick here is going to work fine. The only downside is that usually you want to pair it with a core that has some worry about getting chain stunned. Usually, Gyrocopter kind of fits like that. I guess Wind Ranger does as well. So I guess Venge is all right here, but they don't have the most physical damage amp, and that's usually a place where Venge really excels. So maybe if Jar goes something like Ags and other heavy right-click items, I could see that being beneficial.
So, in terms of the final pick, it looks like, I would assume that Death Prophet is going to be likely run mid, Leshrac likely run off. Workday has been doing 2-1-2 a lot, which in the past several months it's been really interesting to see tri-lanes slowly disappear. But looks like what's the sort of hard carry you'd expect Workday to close out with?
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be. There's a lot of pros are actually putting Death Prophet in the safe lane sometimes in a dual lane, and she seems to do all right there. Just a little bit harder to gank, for example. Maybe the mid matchup doesn't look good, so they don't necessarily have to go for a hard carry. But I think something that is single target heavy, that's BKB, would be the ideal. I mean, they have the ability to push pretty well with Death Prophet, Leshrac. They've got great team fight. Their ganking is not terrible either. I'm not sure what they should go for necessarily. I think something like a PA could work, perhaps.
Troll, perhaps?
Troll's a little bit, is not a very good carry, I would say, because he has to get a Battle Fury and then he also has to get a BKB, whereas those other heroes can buy a couple small items and then get a BKB. So I think Troll is very iffy, and I wouldn't want to pick him against Wind Ranger. I think that just seems too much of a pain, even against like Sand King, and doesn't sound very fun.
Slark show up a little bit more? Do you think he would fit properly in this lineup?
Slark is a very, very good carry right now. I don't know if it necessarily would have been better, I guess, because they do have a pretty good amount of stuns, but Slark would have been fine. Jug is going to be better for pushing at least. That way when they go high ground with like Death Prophet and Brewmaster and stuff, they'll have a lot of in-your-face kind of damage. Jug's pretty good against Gyrocopter. I think the Jug's a pretty good pick here.
Finally, Microsoft looks like they have their hard carry in the form of Gyro. Position 2 or 3, Wind Ranger. Vengeful Spirit and Sand King. Highly likely to be the 4 and 5. So right now it looks like just trying to decide whether they want to put Wind Ranger in the off lane or throw her mid against whomever Workday's placing there.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see. I think Wind Ranger versus Jug sounds pretty good because you might be able to run out of range of Jug Spin just by using Wind Run. That sounds okay, and you should be able to harass him a lot. So it could be something like Wind Ranger Avenge or Wind Ranger Sand King. And they'll go for a sniper. Okay.
The absolute filth coming out in the final pick from the men wearing the sunglasses and the bitten lower lips, Team Microsoft. Closing out with Sniper. Will be Game 1 between Microsoft and Workday getting underway right now. Super excited. Kevin, it's going to be the grand finals getting started. We're going to get to watch amazing play, but not 9K MMR play necessarily.
That's true. I don't think anyone is close to 9K on these two teams. Although I haven't been able to investigate Microsoft's. But they do have very, very long play times. They've all been playing since like 2001, 2011, 2012.
They've been playing since 2001?
Yes.
My God, Kevin.
A couple of them got in the beta like 3 or 4 months after it became semi-available. So long time players. I'm curious to see how the Sniper works out though. If he gets dived, he's gonna have a bad time. But he's a hero that I really like playing him. He's item flexible. He's kind of boomer bust. He can have a bad time. I think Brew is going to be able to run him down. He's got a lot of perks too. Look at that, 4 golds, and he's got all his basic trackers. So that's a comfortable Brewmaster. Sniper could have some issues this game.
Well, we are going to get this finals underway between Team Microsoft and Team Workday. Looks like already sort of splitting into the 2-1-2 style positions. We see looks like Noob is Noob on the Leshrac. Untamed on the Brewmaster. Death Prophet going to be on the ponies. Oh my gosh, look at these people with their
that's why I've been missing these Brewmaster sounds, because all I hear is a chat wheel these days. Nothing else matters these days. Just lots of chat. Safe lane is Angzo player on the Witch Doctor and Sleepy playing Juggernaut. I think he's the team captain, correct?
That is correct. Sleepy
Sure.
team captain. Over on Microsoft, we have the Morris as the Wind Ranger. We have THC on Sand King. It was all yellow as the dirty, filthy sniper Yururu. As the gyrocopter in safe lane, Agent 00 Fuzzy. Captain for.
I think I like this. I think I like this sniper versus Death Prophet matchup. I think it's going to be pretty good for the sniper because she won't be able to abuse Spirit Siphons as much, and sniper actually does enough damage that he can actually kill her in a 1v1 situation. Now, depending on which way the ganks come, that's going to change everything up as well. So they'll have to be a little careful.
Well, at this point in time, looks like any attempts at invades happening doesn't necessarily look like it. It's going to be relatively calm. Yeah.
I think it's a little. I guess I haven't watched all the Super Major games. I think it's a little abnormal to have a Wind Ranger off lane versus a support Wind Ranger. Usually they'll go like a set or two of regen and get an Orb of Venom and just kind of right-click their opponents a lot to trade regen. But with it being a core, I think it could work as well, just because if you have a decent laning stage and you become a little survivable, you can kind of stand in the lane and harass your enemy carry and spam power shots. So I kind of like that. Like both in the mid lane as well as the off lane, I feel like Microsoft has a bit of a laning advantage here.
Well, one of the things that we see right away coming out is Asian Go player has managed to throw down the Sentry Ward, pick off the Observer Ward, getting the very first last hit of the game. Very important thing to do.
Incredible.
Unbelievable. Which lane do you think is going to be the most difficult? We have the Jug, Witch Doctor versus the Sand King, Wind Ranger. I suppose not most difficult, but the most important for our teams to succeed in.
Because I think the Wind Ranger and the Sand King have an advantageous matchup. I just don't see a super high chance of Sand King getting killed. So I think if Wind Ranger can get out of control here and just harass the Juggernaut a lot, it's going to be a really big advantage. Because then they'll be able to stabilize the lane and get more out of it with just a single hero. So I think that's what they have to be careful of. If they can get a kill, that'd be really big. In terms of the off lane, the Brewmaster Leshrac is also a pretty good lane. If Leshrac goes Lightning maybe and harasses a little bit more, this would be better, but I feel like this one looks about even, I guess. It kind of just comes down to how the ganks and kills go and then how the rotations come. So I'd say it's about even.
I mean, at this point in time, just like, I mean, both people are doing 2-1-2, Sand King trying to be as annoying as possible, occasionally getting burrow strikes, the Morris definitely getting the farm priority here. I love whenever any player just gobbles up as many mangoes as possible. You just feel so hoss on regen.
That's true, until you have to slowly eat them, but I mean, he's going to have such an easy laning. Like, nobody's going to even harass this Wind Ranger. I think the Witch Doctor could be doing a better job of this, but it's also really scary against the Sand King. He has to worry that the Sand King could just burrow strike, or they could go for a power shot kill or whatever. It's a tough lane. Although I think it'd be better if he just went back and pulled the small camp, because at least then he'd be getting some free experience and giving Jug some solo experience of his own. Because he's going to be harassed no matter what, so you might as well give him the lane solo and get some creeps denied in the meantime.
Agent 00 Fuzzy successfully getting the pull through. Looks like noobish noob Spider Sense tingled a little bit, but as always, slightly too late. Not quite the Peter Parker of the match. Uh-oh. Looks like no stun coming out of Yiruru. Is it difficult to kill Brewmaster with the Drunken Haze? I mean, it seems like he's certainly going to be a little slippery in the offlane.
It's not that big of a deal just because they have Rocket Barrage. I mean, I think last hitting is more of an important thing. This is good.
This is very likely going to be a near kill or a kill, especially with the Sand King coming in. Brewmaster, he's going the wrong way! He's filled with adrenaline, he's drinking as much as he possibly can, but one little ping-ping from Yiruru immediately halts the salve. And Agent 00 Fuzzy, did he? Oh my gosh, the Bastion of Success himself, the Untamed.
Okay.
And he's going right back to Lane the Bravery! He doesn't need to go back to Fountain, are you kidding me? Who needs health points when you have balls of steel?
Okay, and he gets a salve and a clarity as well from the Leshrac, so ends up working. I thought he was very dead, but worked out fine. Ooh, nice gank rotation. Maledict
damage, guaranteed gonna get that kill, but no. Lightning bolts aplenty from Asian Go player, picking that off. First blood from Noobish Noob. Ooh, my god, the cheeks are certainly red on our red-tinted dire team. Microsoft, Bane, and Mirana ganks. I feel like should have gotten that gank. Perhaps it's due to their lack of Bane and Mirana.
That's a good point. Maybe they should have watched the replays from last. Or they probably. Oh no, wait, it's the weekend. They had no excuse. They weren't working. Maybe, unless they're doing overtime. They also had a lane ward. They knew that the Witch Doctor was there, and the Witch Doctor or the Gyro just stayed up way too far. That was a pretty big mistake, actually. Big damage potential from those three heroes. But on the bright side, Maledict is being on cooldown for a while. In terms of the matchup, Sniper at 10 and 6, And Death Prophet's up to 19 and 10 now.
Yeah, I mean, Ponies is doing pretty good job in this lane, going for the Crypt Swarm focus. I know that technically a lot of the pros go for that Spirit Siphon almost always, but frankly, it's just so nice just for getting last hits, and especially against Sniper, who can stay so far back. It's pretty difficult to actually get the Spirit Siphon locked in and get kills, but Ponies is gonna get the Spirit Siphon locked on and get kills. Here we go, and oh, down to 41 HP. The brown boots getting purchased. Oh, the undervalued boots.
I think he maybe could have committed to that if he casted Spirit Siphon and started chasing to go after the sniper, rather than right-clicking. He could have had that kill, but played the safe. On the top lane, the Brewmaster in trouble here. Missed them. Oh, he did hit the Maledict. Sorry, going on the other guy.
Maledict gets hit,
gonna die.
He's
got a wand.
Oh, the Rocket Barrage is going on all the creeps, but no, the Burrow Strike coming out from THC. Is it going to get 2? No, it looks like Agent 00.
Oh, so close.
3 health is still alive.
3 bounties for the Radiant team as well, so another little benefit for them.
Yeah, I mean, at this point in time, it's looking quite good.
Yeah, pretty good game so far. Not bad. 26 last hits on Ponies now. He's keeping the totals up pretty far. Not bad for him.
Doing a great job in mid. Hit 6 when it was all yellow, was down to level 4. Just Crypt Swarming to try to get as many hits as possible. Just accepting as much shrapnel damage as humanly possible. Yeah. No big deal. It's just shrapnel damage. Huh? What's the big stress? Just half a health bar, huh?
I think I'd like to see Sniper fighting the Death Prophet a little bit more. I think he's kind of being a little too passive in the lane. I get that he's getting last hits, but that's probably just because Death Prophet is being confident, and he's not. He could be getting more pings in and getting a little bit more trade advantage, in my opinion.
I mean, right now, Team Microsoft is doing a good job just making sure that the Gyrocopter Yiru gets as much of that tasty farm as possible. I'm really kind of worried about Sleepy on Jug. The Morris has been doing a very good job in lane, even getting a kill.
It's going to change a little bit once he hits level 6, though, because then he'll get Omni Slash hits. He's at about 5.5 right now. Doesn't yet have his Aquila either. Went for a really fast phase, probably to have a chase advantage against the Wind Ranger.
Oh my gosh, Haste Rune on Death Prophet can be very dangerous. Ponies is just marching right on up. What is that courier doing at that crazy angle? Pony's just pushing back the sniper, not going to do anything too nutty. Currently, the wave up in top lane is, generally being pulled very far back, but Asian Go player on the Witch Doctor is just going to try to do some self-healing, but no, going to eat the rocket in the face. Iruru is getting low. Looks like the Untamed might try to get a trade, but no, the Burrow Strike is suddenly going to mean that it's going to be 0-2 up in the top lane. Oh, Leshrac is here. He's ready. Oh, that's it! That's it, the Lightning Bolt. What a turnaround! What a great TP in from Noob is Noob. See you later, Workday, putting the work in the top lane. Oh, this is a topsy-turvy. This is like a seesaw with 2 children whose weights are constantly changing.
Yeah, it really is. Noob is turning all these fights really well, too. Just showing up at the right time, using his skills right. I really thought that Brewmaster was going to go down there. But the creep wave, I think the Gyro was misusing his barrage just a little bit. He's kind of just casting it even when there's a lot of creeps around. Sometimes you want to be a bit more selective about that. Unfortunately for him, doesn't have phase boots yet either, so it's hard for him to be in the right position and maximize the damage.
I mean, I'm pretty surprised that there's a lot of action, a lot of heroes always up in this top lane. But meanwhile, Sleepy, who's just hit level 6, the Morris, out-leveling, getting 2 kills at this point in time. Currently net worth's relatively even, but, you know, it's this top lane where really a lot of the action is. The lane has been pushed back to a comfortable position for Workday, but anytime it even takes a foot forward, Team Microsoft Banemarana ganks instantly leaps on with their chain stuns.
I'd say the big advantage that Team Workday has, at least, is that Brew's doing very well, and so is the Death Prophet. So if they can turn these guys into some big plays, it would be huge.
Beautiful roam by THC and Agent 00 Fuzzy. See you later.
Did you see how they set that up as well? They saw the regen, they hid the Sand King in the Roche pit, and as he's approaching. But how did he even do that, though? It looks like they had a ward up. Maybe smoke to hide in there or something like that. I'm not sure, but either way, a really good kill, and that's going to put Sniper ahead a little bit.
THC and 00 Agent Fuzzy. There's going to be Agent 00 Fuzzy. I can't never say a secret agent's name incorrectly, or else your neck might get snapped, Kevin. I've made that mistake before. Okay. They're doing a great job roaming around, trying to make sure that they protect the Gyrocopter as much as possible, but taking nice opportunities to get these kills. Looks like Vengeful Spirit just going to try to get a good old stackaroo.
Yeah, as long as they don't kill your Gyro while you're off roaming, I think it's completely reasonable to leave the lane occasionally. They've got pretty good wards as well. I don't know if the players are watching. This is a common problem that I have as well. The wards don't really matter. I don't look at them anyways, but seems like a couple ganks have kind of resulted in that so far. So a little bit better awareness and communication could make a big difference here.
THC's doing a great job just hiding in the trees. Sniper's being pushed back, yeah.
It's probably, he got a work call really quick, and he's got to handle it.
Yeah, he's putting his kid to bed. He's just going to hide in the trees and make it look like he's setting up a gank.
Oh, the tree respawns. Now he can't sneak through.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, he's stuck. No, no, he's not stuck, but he can't walk through this way. I don't know if you can see my drawing where they were standing, but all right, they pop smoke. Yeah, that tree there got blocked. Nice. That the ally drawing is unbugged. It was bugged for a very long time.
Nice attempt at a pull through here. Waves pushed in, the Untamed on the Brewmaster. Already with the phase boots. Just gobbling up as much of that.
They smoked for the bounty run. A little bit mistimed. I would have liked to see Sand King go first maybe, since he can melee. And they actually should have committed to this, I think, for sure, because now they're going to let him get the bounty run. They could have fought around that.
Are we kidding me? The Morris is just a murderer. And I have seen none of his kills. Literally 0 of them. It's just mysterious, man.
How are you supposed to expect them, dude? They just... Power shot does 450 magic damage, just attacks a bunch and then kills people. And that's basically...
Oh, Leshrock and the Brew. Brew is split into 3 smaller, littler Brews. Vengeful Spirit's gonna fall. I mean, I am so impressed at Workday's management of this top lane. I mean, THC and Agent 00 Fuzzy have been trying to do their damnedest. Oh, doing a little courier scouting. Oh. Looks like revenge finally gained down in the bottom right lane.
Jar's just trying to clear the creep wave here. Oh, this maybe could... Okay, almost. Oh, huge stun actually. That would have definitely been Lesh going down.
Man, there is so much action happening in this top lane. Meanwhile, just Sleepy managing to finally get a kill down there, making way towards a Battle Fury, going to be super farmy focused.
He committed Omni Slash? Yeah, he did.
Oh yes, indeed he did. Hey, so I played a lot of StarCraft in my life. We like to use observers as Protoss to see what's going on. What do you think about just putting the courier on that observer hotkey and scouting in the trees as we saw Workday do to try to scope out where the Sand King is, huh? What do you think about that as a play, Kevin?
You could do that, but your team also needs to use the courier. So if it's like there and you only need it for like 15 seconds, yeah, no big deal. But the large majority of the time, that's going to be a little bit of a waste for the courier's free time, unfortunately. Kind of a big item oversight here by Jug. He does not have an Aquila this game, which is a pretty huge amount of survivability. It's like 20% or something extra survivability against physical damage.
And pretty considerable damage boost. Was it 19 extra damage?
Yeah, it's
allow him to farm a lot. I mean, I think Aquila is one of the best games in the item. It's one of the best items in the game, Kevin.
I would change nothing about that sense. Gank on top lane. It looks like it's me Brew falling this time. Okay, just a triple stun. Pretty straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Agent 00 Fuzzy and THC are always loitering nearby Gyrocopter makes it very intimidating to push forward in the slightest. Morris now under some threat, but this appears to be the way that Morris just keeps getting kill after kill after kill. Oh, does not quite manage to get off the shackle. Canceled TP.
Oh, he's got a javelin picked up though. That means his focus fires from here on out are going to be really dangerous. With that said, Jug can spin when he gets focus fired, and at least that'll stop the javelin damage for a couple seconds, but definitely a little scary for these guys here.
The net worth, I'm actually very impressed that it was all Yellow's net worth is #1 in the game. It's appeared like Death Prophet has been doing a good job, at least initially, but after that gank stabilization there, the Morris getting pushed back.
I think one thing I'd like to see from Workday is that they rotate. I guess the Death Prophet has been rotating, but I want to see them rotate into a tower push with an Exorcism. So far, we haven't really seen that. I guess Sniper is not going to leave his lane either, so it's a little bit scary because he's also just getting farmed. But there needs to be like efficient smoke ganks on the mid lane on either of these guys to pressure them and prevent their snowball, or they need to like get objectives.
Oh, barely staying alive, completely whiffing the farthest away possible. And at the same time, it looks like Brewmaster having to use ult. The Morris manages to get that kill with an amazing power shot picking off. Noobish noob. Oh, what a swap. No, I didn't at all, but it had to have been amazing. Look at the distance that was there.
Yeah, it looked good, I think. In my mind, it looks great. He's not done chasing that.
Well, I mean, this has just been one of the most violent top lanes possible. I mean, this Brewmaster's just diving in, and it was all Yellow, who's been spending his entire life in the mid lane, finally TP's in, but his waddling cannot possibly catch up, and that's what THC is for.
Oh, okay. There we go. That should be a kill for sure. Use their shrine. It's the only way.
Use every ultimate. They really did not want to let that.
I mean, he almost got away. That would have been a really big loss. I would like to see ponies get a little bit closer to the tower, maybe to amplify his exorcism damage while his opponents were gone. But they do deal a pretty good amount of damage at least. The rotations work out. Everybody's got the level 6s they need, and Sniper is just about as Maelstrom as well. So their damage output's gonna be huge soon.
Yeah, and I mean the ability for it was all yellow to be able to farm a little more comfortably. This is a relatively vulnerable period in the life of Sniper, though. Well, even though he's pretty far leveled.
He went cooldown reduction this game. Interesting. That's pretty rare.
Huh.
I don't know if I've ever seen somebody do this. I've never tried it myself because I can't. I just can't bring myself to pass up.
Infamous AHGL assassinate build, huh?
With Maelstrom.
Oh,
yeah,
you know maybe.
It. I don't know. Like, you get a lot more shrapnels. That's certainly the best part about this. But I'm not sure if it's worth it. Here comes a smoke ink, though. Oh, perfect timing for him to get back. I don't know if he did that one on purpose or not. I mean, he basically already killed the enemy creep wave, so he rotates back.
He's just coming back, making sure that his team gobbles up all the bounty runes. Agent Double O Fuzzy's going to try to make an attempt to get this, but the Drunken Haze, he's going to try to beat him with a stick! Didn't work successfully. Noobish Noob slightly too late with that split earth.
And Drum's finished on Gyro now, which is going to make running around in these team fights a lot easier. He's queuing up AHGL, so his build is super standard and what's common in the pro scene.
Well, it looks like there was a nice scan used by Workday to see that no one was incoming, so they know that there's not any heroes nearby other than just these two under the tower. But whoo-hoo! These wards right here. Whoopsie-doopsie daisies. Putting it literally as close to the sentry ward as humanly possible. Meanwhile, Sleepy is still just trying to work his way towards his Battle Fury. It's pretty late, I would say. Well, no, I guess 15 minutes is generally...
It's late because he's not that close right now, and he's 15 minutes in. This is definitely scary. This could be a kill for sure. But the wind run kind of makes that all shut down. I think there's too much static laning going on for both teams. Like, basically the mid lane and the off lane has just been them sitting not doing anything, where if the supports are a little bit more efficient at rotating and we're getting successful rotations, you'd be seeing these towers dying.
The Yule's Lift Snipers in a pickle. But all of a sudden, Yiruru immediately answers. Throws down, and this might be a good turnaround. A huge power shot, all three cores from Microsoft all together. What a shackle.
Stuck him to a corpse. That's a big kill.
Meanwhile, on the top side, the supports from Workday trying to approach from the top side. It is not effective.
You'll have the kill in 3 seconds. Oh, okay, he gave up. I guess he was healing all too much.
Whew. Bold power shots from the Morris, trying to be flashy, and that's exactly why we're glad that he's in the finals. Deep warding being placed by Agent Double O Fuzzy. Stun goes down. Down to 23 health, the Morris. So sick! It was
I think
all
if
yellows.
he committed to that a little earlier and let the Lesh stun fall up, that would have been a kill on the bench. They would have had to chain stun with Witch Doctor ulti committing. But just inefficient rotations, kind of, where they're kind of rotating, but they're not being super successful, and as a result, the static leaning of the Dire team is going to keep paying off.
Yiruru right now is pretty far back by his tower. Radiant has done a very nice job. Workday has done a nice job pushing up on the top lane, taking that down quite quickly. I've heard many folks say that the most important tower is the mid-tier 1. This controls the ability to rotate around the map very easily. The Untamed, oh no, walking right by the wards.
Oh, he's got a Blink Dagger as well. He's going to go for a Midas afterwards. I don't know if that's the move, but a lot of Brewmasters going things like Vlad's right now, since the mana regen's been buffed. Some AHGL sometimes. Things like that can work out.
Dragonlance and Maelstrom on the Sniper is going to make it a real pain in the ass to push down this tower, even with 4 players here.
Yeah, and now the cooldown perk are actually really paying off here because his charge restore is coming up a lot faster. So he's getting more charges. He's got Maelstrom for AoE, and now with the Dragonlance, he's got high HP and decent stats.
Agent Double O Fuzzy getting stomped on, getting split earth on, getting whacked on, and immediately getting baseball batted down into the ground. It was all yellow, pulling on the retreat. Right now, if we take a look at the scores right now, it was all yellows. 3-0 at this point in game. Morris has done an amazing job. 4-1, pretty much solo in the south.
Yeah, this lane is his for sure. He's got another 2,000 gold past his already Maelstrom's. Going to queue up a Item Scepter.
Oh.
Interesting choice.
Ult being thrown down by Death Prophet. Ponies just wants to ensure that this tower falls. Pretty late in the game, 18 minutes.
Yeah, finally committing to a big exorcism push. Got the tier 1. No more shrapnels, actually. This could be a little hard to defend. Morris rotates, though. If they can get a good teamfight initiation with Brew.
Oh no, the Death Prophet is completely caught out.
Oh, they interrupted.
Yeah, they interrupted the channel, and it looks like, whoa, the damage output on the ultimate of ponies is way too high. That Sand King got utterly ambitious, channeling directly in front of a whole bunch of stunful folks. Oh my god, there's so much violence happening right now. Noobish Noob gets swapped in, stomps down, but 2 will fall. A 2-for-1 ponies ambitiously heading on in. These are the relatively farmedest heroes that they've got, and 2, 3 will fall. Will it be 4? Indeed it will. Down you go. See ya. Morris with the point-blank power shot that's completely unnecessary and yet utterly important because of how tight it was.
Yeah, at some point there was just so much range damage coming in for the Radiant team. I mean, it looked like they had a decent initiation, but because they punished the Sand King, but after that it was just over diving past the tier 2. The tier 2's hitting them the whole time. There's basically no retreat options, and Brew ultimate can only do so much.
I love the point blank power shot. I don't know if that's literally the best play that was.
It's a lot of damage.
I mean, it's certainly a lot of damage, but I like the fact that the way that a brain learns is that okay, the correct move is to shoot him with a bow and an arrow at point blank range.
Better than your regular attack, unless you get a Maelstrom proc. No, it's even no matter what. You'd have to attack like 2 or 3 times just to equalize the power shot damage. Certainly the best choice here. Morse is on such a good trajectory now. 7-1 and 2, 2,200 gold past his point booster, so he is about to finish his Aghanim Scepter, which means more physical right-click damage, more ultimates.
Early.
Just a lot is going to happen with that.
So I mean, at this point in the game, what is it that Workday needs to do to really start turning the tides? They're down about 5k.
I think they need a pipe or something like that, because their team is just getting blown up by magic nukes pretty much. It's like there's 2 heroes that have Maelstroms. They're against a Gyrocopter. They're against a Sand King. They need somebody to carry something like a pipe, but with the Brewmaster being their offlane hero, they don't have like a typical Doombringer kind of a thing. So I don't really know who the person to do that is. Death Prophet opted for a magic resistance perk over the 40 damage. This is uncommon, but again, considering how much magic damage, maybe this is going to work. But I don't think Death Prophet alone is going to be tanky enough to frontline against all of these heroes.
Yeah.
They need
Looks like another attempted smoke gank from Workday. Agent 00 Fuzzy manages to reveal everything, so Yiruru technically is the target, but I mean, he's just looking pretty comfortable. He's farmed up to 8k, still behind the Wind Ranger and the Sniper, but Brew gets spotted and caught out. Yiruru is literally just going to waltz away, no big deal. And meanwhile, Wind Ranger is just pushing in the bottom lane. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. 200 away from Aghanim Scepter. 21 minutes.
They're just way more stable in their lanes by having Wind Ranger offlane versus the Jug. So they basically just have all these self-sufficient cores that can go on each lane, constantly pushing them out, constantly getting farm, and as long as they evade some of these ganks, then everything's fine. And now Jug's going to come bottom thinking like, well, I might as well get farm. Oh, there's a fight.
Uh-oh. Looks like Vengeful Spirit swaps out Yiruru, who's running away again. It looks like, uh-oh, the backline's getting gone on. See you later, Witch Doctor. I do not know if this Brewmaster is going to be able to get the kill off. Wow. Indeed manages to pull it off. 4 up at the top side. And Brewmaster is going to be tragically falling. Managed to get 1 core, but still not even the most farmed core on the team.
I really didn't think they were going to be successful in getting the Gyrocopter in the first place. So, and a lot of their allies just left instantly. Death Prophet was TPing bottom at the start of that fight, then Wind Ranger ends up TPing top, and now they actually get some time to hit a tier 1 tower. This is ultimately alright for Workday, I think.
Let's see if THC decides to ambitiously go in. Whoa, wants to just get the double-double.
Trying to omni this, but
okay,
he's going to go for it.
Well, it looks like THC is going to just invisibilate and depart. And, oh no, that's a little bit too far forward. Look at the damage output from the Morris! Oh! Killed while shackled to a tree, and it wasn't even sexy. Sleepy does have the Battle Fury up at this point in time, and I mean, technically has not really been participating in a ton of fights, just trying to avoid as much as possible, push, farm, try to get it back together again.
Yeah, going top to push lanes is definitely the best thing Jug can do right now, because even his Omni Slashes don't hit very hard. In fact, he's actually leaving the lane to let Brew hit this. I think this is a mistake. Brew's, I mean, unless he has a lot of faith in his Brew player to go, I guess him getting Radiance on Brew would do a lot, but I think he should be the one that's like blasting out waves and hitting jungle. Make Bruce go somewhere else, since he already has Midas. He's got ultimate kind of soon. I think that would be a little better personally, because right now Jug's just running around kind of inefficiently trying to catch up, but he's pretty far behind the pack.
I mean, Jug's going to have to really carry hard if this game gets late, but I mean, the farming setups are so nice from Dire. I mean, Microsoft stacking these Ancients again and again. Agent 00 Fuzzy has been extremely responsible, even from the very outset of the game, making sure that those are all juicy and ready to go for Sniper. The Morris has just kind of like set up shop here. I think he's actually just moving away from home and just going to live in the bottom lane for the rest of this match. Oh, Yiruru actually a little bit too far forward this time. Going to try to throw down some sort of stun. Hitting all the buttons, spamming as much as possible. Woo. Brings them both down to 1/3 health, but the Morris answers with a push at bottom lane.
And that's the guy they're pressuring. 7 deaths now in Gyrocopter. He did have money to finish his Ags just now. Did not buy out before his death, so a little costly. Maybe should have gotten a BKB first, perhaps. Or what he should be doing is just smoking with like the Venge and the Sand King. Is what happens a lot in some games, is that the supports don't feel like they can roam around and get stuff done on their own, and all they need to do is bring one core with them. If they bring Gyro on those ganks, or Sniper, or Wind Ranger, all of their rotations can work. But this passiveness that both teams are kind of exuding, it's like they're not fully on the same page. Everybody's kind of focused on farming, but Microsoft's just doing a little bit better.
Well, right now it's a coordinated push, all 5 from Workday in mid. Microsoft also having almost their entire team here. Looks like Sniper is going to waddle his way over to the runes, make sure that those are gobbled up in the meantime. But Ultimate out for Ponies, trying to help guarantee that kill on that center tower, but I don't necessarily know if they're going to do it. I'm seeing a lot of motion coming in. Oh my gosh, the very ambitious dive from Brewmaster, who might just get stun locked before he can ult. Yes, indeed, that's what happens. Blinks can be very counterproductive sometimes. Sleepy. Probably going to be able to get away. No. Just too much damage. It's kind of amazing how squishy Juggernaut is until he has a few items.
I mean, he's missing the Aquila is part of it, and he's also up against a Vengeful Spirit, who's lowering his armor by 7, and also the physical damage of Gyro's being increased with the Venge Zora, and Gyro's got an egg, so he's just walking with people right-clicking, and they're just dying. And with the drum in the face, he's really fast.
I mean, Yiruru right now is Indiana Jones, and the Aghanim Scepter means that he's got Sean Connery in the sidecar gunning away. The Morris has insane damage with both the Ags and the Maelstrom. Attempted defense, but instant stun. THC pops in there in a matter of seconds. Noob is going to try to retreat. Oh my god, what am I doing here? Dying, says it was yellow.
Shot him right in the face. Assassinated, dude.
This is team point blank blasting, man. That's so good.
Yeah, at that point, they're just trying to stabilize a little bit, but Lesh can't transition into a core as well. We should have stunned the Sand King there, put him safe with the Ami.
Oh my god, Sniper is no more. It was all yellow, marking that first death of the game. The Morris is going to be able to get out. Looks like there's a whole bunch of fragments of a former panda rushing after Agent 00 Fuzzy Fuzz, man.
They should be able to get this Venge kill first. He doesn't have swap for 10 seconds. Maybe would have preferred him right there. It doesn't. Look at the Venge kill. He goes down, gold going to Brewmaster. He's 3,200 gold now on his hero. Once he can get like Radiance and maybe like an Aeon Disc or something like that, I think Brew's going to be in a super good spot.
If we take a look at some of the items, we see Aeon Disc is the next goal for Death Prophet. A little unusual, but perhaps Ponies is just trying to make sure. Really?
Super common right now in Death Prophet, actually. It is like the Death Prophet build to go like.
I had no idea. Like, okay, it looks like this is going to become an episode of Day 9 Learns Dota. Dude, the Aeon Disc, man, I had no idea it was so common. I've just been like getting Bloodstone, dying, and putting my hands in the air, going, I don't know, I just gotta lane better. You know, apparently we've got to be buying up Aeon Discs.
They go treads because they usually get the damage perk. They go Scepter just for obvious good Death Prophet reasons. They'll sometimes get Blink Daggers, or Medallion or Solar Crest. But Aeon Disc I've seen pretty much on every Death Prophet in the last like month or two. Just because if she can't get her ultimate off at the start of the fight, then she's doing no damage. So Aeon Disc minimum will break the first initiation and buy her some time to maybe get a silence off, get some Spirit Siphons off. And it's just safer than BKB, right? Because if you get initiated on BKB, doesn't do anything unless you have like a Shadow Demon or something. So very common item on her right now.
That makes total sense. I can't believe I never purchased an Aeon Disc on Death Prophet. Dude, next time, you have no idea. I'm going to do straight Aeon Disc every time. Agent 00 Fuzzy is being unbelievable about consistently stacking this up for Sniper. Sniper now at 13k, alongside the Morris on the Windrunner.
Yeah,
Jug is kind of just... I feel like Jug's...
Stain.
Yeah, he's hanging. He's hanging tight. Aegis on there. Beautiful ward placement, spotting all this movement. They're so responsible about stacking. I miss stacked camps, man.
Yeah.
Those were the days.
It's actually giving Bench a lot of money, I'm sure.
Oh my god! Ping, 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 ping. Guys, there is a smoke gank coming. I think I have a hunch.
This would be a huge fight there. They're really close to Radiance on Brewmaster. If they get stomped in this fight, well, not really close, but on the way. If they get stomped in this fight, it'd be really bad for Workday.
And another attempted push on this tier 2 tower. It looks like all of Team Microsoft, Bane and Mirana ganks hit up in the top trees, and this is going to be a guaranteed pick-off. Both teams lost 2 towers up in mid lane. Looks like a calm retreat. Brewmaster's so close to Radiance, and they're going to, of course, take the fact that their gank didn't work out on these very sad Ancients, but...
Well, Microsoft pops the smoke as well.
Yes,
I don't know if they were all quite ready for this one. Yeah, in fact, Sniper's going to go back to farming.
It's a smoke farm.
It's like one of those things where you're like, I know we should be doing something right now, but I don't really know how and when to organize it, so I'm going to press it, and then their whole team's kind of like, yeah, well, I don't think I really want to actually smoke right now.
I think the core of all learning in Dota begins with shrugging and making a decision, Kevin.
That's true. It helps a lot, actually. I think the reason they chose not to engage is because there's still an Aegis on the Juggernaut. They felt a little bit weird about it. But that said, they just used Death Prophet ulti, so maybe it'd be possible.
This is pretty nice. Looks like Team Workday is trying to transition this into a push on the top lane. They have everybody here. Everybody but one.
Radiance will be flying out shortly. Brewmaster's going to be very happy here. Kind of curious what build he's going to go. I wonder if he's going to go more regular right-click and less about Primal Split. I feel like that might work okay.
Oh, Microsoft with a little bit of the misread sent most of their team down to the south lane where there's not only no objectives but no teammates from Workday, so top tower is going to fall essentially for free, and I don't even know if there's actually going to have any time.
You know what's actually happening is that Workday is a lot more coordinated as a team. They're grouping together and they're just committing to these pushes. They're turning on the Death Prophet ultimate, and the enemy team is just kind of like, how do we react? And they react late, and then it's over. The tower's just dead.
Yeah.
So it's like Microsoft's better at playing individually and getting farm, but the teamwork of Workday is far superior here, and it's making stuff happen even though they're losing. It's weird.
Wow.
They've got Roche. They're getting towers. Microsoft's just not reacting perfectly, and they're not setting any tempo of their own. It's that same like gank issue that is lacking that hasn't been happening.
Yeah, I mean, still just so much farm though. Dude, Windrun grants invisibility. Oh, that's essentially invincibility, Kevin.
That's true. Do they have any sentries? They've got some on the map. Yeah. Like wards and stuff everywhere.
Place down. Aeon Disc done. BKB coming up. Nice defensive lineup of items for the Death Prophet. Sleepy still working towards BKB, but with the Blink Dagger out, this is the one item that I feel like let me actually understand that Juggernaut was good, because he's just trying to run in there and spin, and then they would just shoot me, and you'd be like, you shouldn't have spawned, and I'm like, I don't know, man, and then just buying a Blink Dagger, man.
Something that's inexpensive, and it feels like, man, I really wish that I didn't have that there so I could buy something, but you kind of have to. It's like that or Shadow Blade essentially, and Blink is just a lot simpler to use. Find the opportunities, jump on the right guy, and get an Omni off. And as he finishes his item afterwards, that's when things are going to start getting really good for Jug. But they're certainly being out farmed. That's definitely the story of this game. Maybe they'll get an engagement on Sniper here.
Insta stomp on Sniper. Defensive from THC. Gets interrupted in the channel of the ult again, and suddenly Little Panda Fragments running straight after Sniper. Trying to answer down here. Yiruru immediately picks off Noob is Noob, and meanwhile, it looks like the Slugger Juggernaut getting rock slammed again, and is he gonna fall down? He does! Brewmaster manages to get the kill. Yiruru is slaying as well, picking off 2 down there. Untamed, welcome to the enemy fountain. Here to do some shopping.
It's fine, you found a friend.
Oh, look at this! We're at the top lane, it's a push! Transitioning! 2 managed to get picked off, Witch Doctor and the Leshrac.
Did you see that cut on the ground? That was pretty cool. It's like the Jug put a sword in the ground and then blinks away, and then everything between. Why doesn't he use that on enemies? That would be really effective.
Oh, the Morris manages to finally get the kill on Panda Bear guy.
That was easy. Focus fire with Monkey King Barman.
Is he going to... Omni Slash is up. Oh, no.
Just got focus fire now.
No. Oh, Sleepy, no. Sleepy is so sad. He is so cry-frown sad right now. The little ghost just licking on the heels of the enemy gyrocopter. Looks like you are silenced, chased, siphoned. All the verbs are being used on the Sand King at this point in time, but Yiruru is so bold. You know...
Could have BKB there. Chose not to.
Rivington and Zyrene, you know, were just casting the League of Legends finals, and there's something that was said after a play kind of similar to this one, that, you know, this is a league about charity and giving. I think that was a very charitable move from the Gyrocopter on Team Microsoft.
He knows he needs to save the Black King bar for when it really matters. That's all. And this was not it. Apparently, it's gonna win him a fight later, which will thrust money into the coffers of their charitable organization. It's all planned or something.
Indeedy do. A giving
So-
man, Yiruru is going to have some time to reflect upon his philanthropy.
Yeah, rather than
for
be
40 more
wasteful,
seconds.
he's
Yeah.
going to spend his extra cash on charity. That's the better analogy. There we go.
Looks like we have an It Was All Yellow going in deep. Oh my gosh, it was nice knowing you.
Got a glimmer. There's a chance. Okay.
Oh my
Yeah, I
god.
forgot about that. That helps.
Wow. I mean, Sniper doing his McCree impersonation.
That was pretty sick, man. I
was
thought
great.
there was no way he gets that kill when he tried the assassinate half HP, but damn.
I mean,
Thumbs
this is one yoked Sniper. I mean, the cooldown reduction attack speed, minus 1.5 second assassinate time. That's like really interesting that this is like lots of damage based items, a lot of the normal things that you'll see on a Sniper, Shadow Blade, Mjolnir, Hurricane Pike, but then going for the cooldown reduction, assassinating a lot instead of getting the knockback. I mean,
Yeah,
a lot of confidence to use that.
I think it's okay at this point. Like another thing is the phase boots. Even like phase boots with cooldown reduction is not bad either. You get to phase every 6.8 seconds instead of every 8. It's not a lot, but that's like some tangible reward for that perk. I definitely overlook it a little bit because all I think is shrapnel. Nothing else matters, right? But now his assassinates 8.5 seconds. His Hurricane Pike is lower. His Mjolnir active he can turn on more often.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and can TP more often. There you go. 68 second.
No,
cooldown
68
teleport.
second TP. That is so good.
Better
One
than 80.
shy of 69, which we would never say on air because that would be inappropriate, Kevin.
If he buys a BKB, it's gonna have a lower cooldown.
Oh my gosh.
Say panic. Maybe I don't get that. But I don't know. I could see there's maybe some value to this delaying the damage. I think if you go Maelstrom, you can make it work. I think if there's any other item, I'd say for sure a waste. But I think I'm warming up to this build a little bit. Just feels bad right when you get it. I'm like,
Oh,
this
Untamed is a little bit too far forward. He Blinkaruhas away. Oh, Shackle's managing to
he's got
not
an Aeon
connect
Disc
any
too.
heroes. Yeah.
So getting chain stunned. Worst case, basically, he's gonna be forced to ulti. He's got the Primal Split perk now, so his Primal Split's gonna be a lot harder to kill. Would like to see him
My
get an aura
goodness.
item though,
Visibility.
AC or something.
This has been a remarkably passive 5 minutes. No one is getting together doing nothing. Everyone is just really excited, I suppose, about a little PvE action. Who doesn't love levels and money?
It's certainly easier to hit creeps than it is to group as a team and set down effective kills. That's for sure. And here's going to be the smoke here. Sniper doesn't get a
Looks
smoke,
like
but
waiting on the BKB recipe.
is he?
I would estimate as much. I'm going to make this claim. All right. Most of the key items to be able to make a play are done for Workday, and it looks like, oh my gosh, everyone's A-ramming it up. Here we go. Smoke in mid. They're going to try to come around. Is the Untamed is about to do the unthinkable, make the unblinkable maneuver. Is it Roche?
Both teams accidentally smoking at the same time.
I know.
Could lead to conflict.
I am not sure what inflection to use on my voice right now, Kevin. Is there going to be conflict? Is it two ships passing in the night?
yeah.
Oh, it was
Oh, yeah.
all yellow. Oh,
Seth Shadow Blade.
look at that instant reaction on the Hurricane Pike Shadow Blade. He's untouchable. What a guy.
So the issue here is that if you're smoking at nighttime without like a warder in the front, then you're going to have a bad time because moments like that. The reason Sniper was able to get out is because Brewmaster didn't know where to blink until he physically saw the Sniper. Sniper actually sees farther at nighttime, I believe, than the average hero. I think that just got buffed. So that was just a poor choice of they need to put wards down basically as they invade.
Everyone's soaking up so much of that shrapnel damage, and it looks like, is it going to be a steal? Sand King goes in, huge damage down. Sleepy still manages to get the Aegis, but oh my gosh, Workday is just evaporating. Last second Yules to try to stay alive, but I'm not entirely sure the ponies can do it. Swippy Swapperoo, hello, I've found my Omni/target, and it looks like Sleepy. Uh-oh, Shackle. Instant death, and everybody's dead. Every single person on Workday is dead. Wow, they died. They're dead.
Which was probably to be expected, right? The Great Burrow Strike initiative. I would have maybe liked him to channel Epicenter outside. Like, as soon as the Wave of Terror went and they saw everybody, I would have liked to see the Epi come out first. But it worked out fine. Everybody goes down. Brew actually doesn't get his ultimate off. That's probably the impactful thing. And, yeah, easy cleanup. BKBs walk in, everyone dies.
Dude, the Morris has been playing so well all game long. Microsoft has been doing so much devoted farming. And just waited for one big team fight and sweeped it up, man.
I would say Wind Ranger seems to be the problem hero, personally. I think the rest of the heroes in the game are totally playable against, but the Wind Ranger, the way that he contested the lane was just too big of a downside. They needed a different carry that could actually contest the Wind Ranger in the lane. And Witch Doctor opening is one of his weaknesses. He's not the strongest lane support. He's okay. He's kind of good at all phases of the game, but he isn't super strong. I think they need to either pick like a support that can make the Jugs laning stage better, or they need to get Wind Ranger out of the pool.
And I mean, Microsoft doing some great coordination, picking off both sets of racks in mid and bottom, but also having THC push on the top. So easy to get all myopically tunnel visioned because I'm referencing myself, and I don't care if anyone else doesn't do that. That's exactly what happens to me, and it hurts and it feels bad. But look at this, doing the very responsible job pushing the top lane, and then of course this pullback to pick off the Shrine. Microsoft ahead $20,000. God, that is so much money, and still not even remotely enough to pay for a year of college in America.
That's because community colleges are actually very affordable, if you better believe it or not.
That is true.
But yeah, typical university, yeah, definitely not.
Yeah, absolutely, indubitably.
Yes. Well, we'll see where they try to go to stabilize after this. I'm sensing some my need to criticize more item builds, and I think the one I'm looking at right now is Hand of Midas on Brewmaster. I really think this was a bit of an unnecessary thing. I think if he just tried to catapult into the Radiance a little faster, it would have been better for his team. Just by the time he gets it, then it does more damage in reference to how much HP they have. And Midas is not the item he used to be. If that was like a Vlad's, if he goes like Vlad's into Radiance, I'm totally down. I'm happy. More armor for his allies and stuff like that.
Very ambitious sniper, all alone. Is Sniper going to kill himself to death?
They have no detection, so this is... They do have a sentry on the cliff, I guess, but...
Well, hey, remember, there's that cooldown reduction on that Shadow Blade.
That's pretty true. It actually is kind of a big deal, especially once he goes to Silver Edge. It's going to be really close to perm uptime, I believe.
No way.
Yes way. Did you not know? It has been buffed, I think.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I wasn't saying no way to your comment. I was saying no way to this Morris move where he's running right by the sentry like it's nothing, man. Go players plopping down sentries left and right, making the good old ring of anti-invisibility. Aeon disc it out. And Untamed gets swapped! Has to primal split immediately, and it looks like, who's the target? Does he run? Does he stay? He's not entirely sure. He's just going to make sure he maximizes the amount of shrapnel damage that he receives.
I'm curious what perk he's going to get at 25. After this cooldown reduction perk, I feel like it's unpredictable. Does he go attack range? Does he want 9 shrapnels? I'm not sure.
I would go for the 9 shrapnels. I'm really excited about this gem that's in the Roshan pit. This is good stuff. Yeah, look at that. Look,
those Brewmasters.
Someone's going to be really, really excited when it's time to get the next Roshan. Ooh, Scotty already done on It Was All Yellow. Just passing the 41-minute mark here in the game. Yururu spotted the Untamed. Knows for a fact that Primal splits down. The Blink's going to allow him to get back to safety, no problem. Lane's continuing to push in. All the Team Microsoft slowly making their way towards the last objective. The final objective.
Radiant's top shrine is under attack.
The shrine?
I'm talking about the top lane. Shrines, how dare you call the shrines an objective? If that were true, then I would have been wrong, Kevin.
If you can glyph them and they have a slow HP regen, that sounds a whole lot like an objective to me. That's consistent.
Oh, I guess, wow. Well, it looks like the happy Workday logo is under a lot of duress right now. Sniper with an insane range just naturally. Almost, plus 6 shrapnel charges. Doesn't even need that plus 125 range. The Untamed still doesn't have Primal Split. Risk of taking some damage. Nope, Aeon discs his way out of it.
Well, this is one good thing about it. They can use it for vision and not have to feel like they're gimping their potential to teamfight afterwards. And he instantly got the charges.
7 charges remaining. Oh my gosh! 1 second of time is all it took for the Morris to blow you up. Juggernaut, Slugger Man trying to run in there, get into the back lines, trying to get on It Was All Yellow, but no, that shackle and the chain stun, he's gone! Noobish Noob says spread out. Well, just Brewmaster remains. Death Prophet is going to have to rebuy if she wants to be able to get into this fight. And Team Microsoft appears to have successfully, adroitly maneuvered their way into a 1-0 position. Mega Creeps are up. GG, Kevin, it's done! It's done. Microsoft, Bane, and Mirana Ganks have won the very first game of the AHGL Grand Finals.
They definitely deserve that. They farmed better across the board. I think their hero matchups were just superior, and the enemy team on Workday just didn't scale as well as they needed to.
Yeah.
Maybe items, maybe a little bit of playstyle, a little bit of both. So.
I mean, it was remarkable how sharp the turnaround was there, where it looked like both teams were playing a little passively. I would say the aggression for Workday definitely started in their favor at the outset of the game, taking more objectives, more towers down. And then it was that one team fight, and everybody on Workday died. And then that's just where all the momentum swung back. 2 sets of racks fell. I mean, as we're going into the next game, what do you think is the big shift that we need to see out of Workday? Just trying to set up better laning matchups, or trying to babysit their juggernaut better at the outset of the game?
Yeah, those are definitely important points. I think that they need to gank and transition to other lanes more. Like, they had very low damage counts on pretty much all their heroes except for Brew Death Prophet. Leshrac did okay. Like, Leshrac, I think, dominated the laning stage. He was the best player in the laning stage, more or less. Definitely. But after like the 10-minute mark, it felt like they didn't really accomplish anything. And I think they needed to get like smokes where it's like Witch Doctor, Leshrac, and a core, and they go somewhere and they kill somebody, and they do that repeatedly and over again. And then with the gem, get some map control, continue to do that, because against a team that sits back and plays core farming, which basically both teams did, the team that starts getting good at being aggressive while ward controlling just start dumpstering the whole game, because the other enemy team is not going to be good at grouping up and reacting to these kinds of moments. So if they're better than laning at you because of their hero matchups, and they are getting more farm, and neither team is ganking, then the team that farms better is always going to win.
And I gotta say, it's one of those types of strategies that I feel like I just don't see that much in pro games, like that sort of degree of passivity at times. And so it's kind of interesting. Like, this is, I feel like, a common theme across any sort of esport title, where if you look at the top players play, there's certain things that they do. I feel like Dota, the hallmark is really aggressive gameplay constantly. They're always doing things. They're always pushing as far forward as humanly possible. But sometimes if you're in a situation like this where it's, I really am not trying to learn anything new in this game, I'm trying to win with the highest probability, doing things like I think what Microsoft did, just playing a little passively because they have a pretty good trio of cores, works really nicely in those situations. Yeah,
and they always farm them in safe places. The Wind Ranger was always in the offlane, but she can do that because she's hard to right click, can push the way from safety, evasive, can go invisible when she hits 20, and then Sniper pretty much just sat on top of Ancients the whole time. Like, that was a lot of Vengeful Spirit's benefit, actually. If he's constantly focused on stacking Ancients, and then Sniper can always go there to safely last hit, then anytime they even try to gank Sniper, he's going to be at his Ancients, which is fairly defensive. So it was pretty good. And Gyro was really the only person that got overly pressured and killed, because he was the technical safe lane hero in the late game. But I do think if the ganks were a little bit better organized, that they could easily pressure that. Like, if there's a hero like Sniper in the next game and they gank him like 2 or 3 times in a row, he's gonna have a completely different game, and then it's gonna be like an extra hero on Workday feeling comfortable getting less hits. And another thing that Workday needed to do is they needed to not play like a 3 hero go to each lane, push the lanes out, because then Leshrac would be able to get farm. In fact, the way Lesh usually works from a 4 is that he transitions by being one of the heroes that pushes lanes. So if he's one of the guys that pushes lanes, he can actually transition into being a real hero. But late game there, he's worthless if he doesn't transition into like a Bloodstone or something, because he just dies instantly right away and needs to stand in melee range to do damage, which he'll never match up well and be able to survive against Gyro, Sniper, Wind Ranger at those farm levels.
Well, it looks like the next game is going to be getting started in just a moment. If you guys are enjoying this, I want to know this is not an observer-only kind of thing. If you have a company with a lot of people who are into games, we are doing 2 seasons a year of the After Hours Gaming League. All you need to do is go to afterhoursgaming.tv or join us at the Discord that's literally on screen, you highly observant and participatory man.
Did Dota get left out of here, or is it just not there because it's implied that obviously we also do Dota?
Oh, it's because it's a spring season game. It's a spring season game. So these are the fall season games. Yeah. We're doing Dota 2 and StarCraft and League of Legends and Overwatch in spring and all those ones that were just up. Counter-Strike, Hearthstone, PUBG, Heroes of the Storm. And there's one that I'm forgetting because I've removed the screen. Let's just look at it. Rocket League, there we go. I knew it. Woo! All right. Yeah, feel free to join in. That's what the finals of this is. Workday and Microsoft Bane and Marana Gangs playing for Doctors Without Borders and Child's Play, respectively. And my God, they pick so much faster than pro teams do. I can't even believe it.
It's actually so fast. They do ban Wind Ranger in the first phase, though. I think it was definitely a necessary grab here. Microsoft opens with Venge Sand King again, and Workday this time is going to steal the Gyrocopter away to pair with the Witch Doctor, which should work fine. And I think it'll work. Gyro will work a lot better than somebody like Juggernaut. I think if the lane matchup is a little scary.
Well, it looks like we're having...
Dire
Is this
team ban.
the same picks as... Oh, no, Workday didn't
Gets
pick
the gyro.
Gyrocopter. Yeah, Microsoft chose Gyro.
But Microsoft
Their
did
third
open
pick.
the same way, yeah.
Yeah. And same bans for Microsoft as well. Ban on Doom, Beastmaster, and Tusk. Seems like they really want to make sure that they're...
They're
Match
targeting the
offlanes.
offlane.
Yeah. They are.
Which
they are
I think makes
offlane
sense.
right now.
The guy was playing pretty well, with the exception of the Midas purchase that I disagreed with. Maybe he feels comfortable with it. With the exception of that item choice, I think he played his hero very well, and it was definitely probably the biggest headache for the enemy team. I think that's pretty safe to say. So banning all of his heroes is a good way to start. Maybe he can have something squeezed through that he likes, but I mean, a lot of the typical offlaners are banned at this point.
Yeah, like I'm like going through it. It's just so much offlane hate.
Darkseer,
what? 10
but that's not the
remaining.
super high skill cap hero. Underlord isn't played very much right now, I think. But
5 seconds
I'm hoping we
remaining.
get to see some Underbro. Underlord is just a blast to watch with him just dark rifting here and there and every which way.
I don't know if it works so well in games around this level. Like, I would estimate this is probably something like a 4.5 to 5k match,
Yeah.
MMR wise. So it's definitely not. And there are some players that are like 5.7 or something or higher. So there's a couple really good
Listen
players
up.
sprinkled in.
I'm 3.6k with the way you're talking about like 5k MMR play, like you are the Reaper in Mass Effect and I'm Shepard. You're like, there is a plane of existence so far beyond your own you cannot even imagine it, and that's where Underlord isn't picked. I'm like, I don't know, I just push lanes and teleport back out and then we're okay.
Which is good, but you have to. But the heroes like Darkseer and Underlord, they farm items that they need to use in a team fight to win the team fight. Is how they work. They don't like gank very well. They don't like. They kind of just like, it's like this team fight survivability, save your team, fight well thing. Objectives. Like heroes like Clockwork are going to be better at setting tempo, and that's not really a typical offlane hero, but more of a 4 or 5 position.
Yeah.
But it could be. If he just goes like
5
fight
seconds
and gank
remaining.
and stuff and does a good job, I could certainly see Clockwork just like completely changing the style of the game being played. Because if he's just everywhere making things happen, setting things up for his team, you're gonna see Microsoft get on the back foot and not really feel comfortable in reacting to this, I don't think.
Oh my gosh, Luna's the pickup from Microsoft. You'll recall in the previous pick ban phase of Game 1, Luna was banned alongside Drow Ranger relatively early from Workday because Luna and Gyro are some of the most common picks from Yiruru, who I feel like really just continued to push through in the game despite all the ganks that were happening early on. Just got a lot of nice kills on the back line, knew exactly where the targets were supposed to be. And now on Luna, which I don't know how you feel like Luna plays these days, but in my at my levels, Kevin, it's some stuff happens and then oh god, Luna's really farmed. We just lost all our racks. That's game, man. Oh my gosh, like Luna can get so fast if left alone.
The common items of like treads and Mask of Madness and Dragonlance, it's just you farm so rapidly because you have a built-in battle for you essentially, which is one of the big advantages she has.
Oh, okay, we have to see a last pick Bane, otherwise this game is dumb.
it would have to be a Sand King offline, which is fine. They could make that work. The Axe pick is a bit interesting though. I guess that, I mean, they don't necessarily. It could be Clock. Well, no. So there has to be either Clock or Witch Doctor support, right?
I mean, it looks like it's going to be
10
Axe in
seconds
position 3,
remaining.
Clockwork in 4, Witch Doctor 5, Gyro probably
5
1,
seconds remaining.
could be 2.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Axe Clock looks okay. Oh no.
Oh my god,
Somebody's
no,
outside. Somebody's walking their dog on the sidewalk by her. Can you believe it?
I
Who
don't
would do
believe
that?
it. What a turn of events. Oh my god. All right, what's going on with Tango the dog? Is the man with the dog outside pulling away? Or is it going to be a comeback? Oh my god, Kevin has stood up and left. Oh my god. Kevin, no. We're in the middle of the thing, Kevin.
These days, the way it works is that if I yell no, she doesn't do anything. But once she hears me stand up, she's like, oh shit, I better knock it off. He's about to come yell at me in person.
Not the anger of dog, father.
She's okay now. She looks regretful.
10 seconds
Oh, what a
Head
remaining.
down in shame.
Oh, what
I'm
a
scratching
good
her
girl.
chin.
Yeah.
Goodness.
Dire team pick.
Well, looks like yes.
Oh.
That's what I'm talking about. We got the Zeus from Workday.
This
Gonna
is-
blow things up.
So dangerous. Look at the pick order. Their opponents have last pick. They don't necessarily. Well, I guess it's. I guess they do kind of know their cores. Like they could do some. No, they don't actually. They could just pick some hero that beats Zeus mid, and then they instantly kind of lose their mid lane. But if the game becomes like last game, Zeus is gonna be great. He's gonna be safe, farming lanes, get his items that he needs, and then it's gonna be fine because then Zeus is good from that position. It's kind of like Sniper basically. If you don't pressure him, he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, who would be really good picks to go? Well, I mean, Shadow Fiend's been banned. It looks like Sniper's been banned. Death Prophet out.
Storm can be really good because once Storm hits 6, Zeus can't defend himself at all.
I think Storm is actually a commonly picked hero for Microsoft as well, and there it is. It looks like it's going to be a Microsoft Mirana and Storm Spirit ganks.
I think it's a pretty good Storm game. I mean, other than Axe Call, they don't have the most disable. They've got a lot of burst damage, and I guess if Axe catches Storm, Storm is also likely to die due to things like to Zeus. But there's not the most burst damage. There's not the most lockdown. I think it's a pretty good Storm game.
Yeah. I mean, I'm real curious what the Untamed is going to be doing in the safe lane, or in the off lane versus Yiruru's safe lane. Agent 00, Fuzzy, and THC, the ganking crew.
Well, Morris was playing Wind Ranger last game, so it's probably Mirana offlane, right? And he'll probably lane with Sand King, I feel like. That sounds like a pretty good lane. You just got to burst strike somebody that's within arrow distance, basically. And you should, you can land a mid-range arrow, it's fine. You'll do not that much damage, but it should stun for like 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds, something like that. I think it's a good chance of getting a kill. And her attack speed from Leap just got buffed as well, so with the right items, Mirana can definitely make this work.
Well, from Team Microsoft, we have Yiruru on the Luna, Agent 00, Fuzzy on the Vengeful Spirit. We got It Was All Yellow, Sniper from last game, Storm here, the Morris on Mirana, and THC once again on the Sand King. Meanwhile, over on Team Workday, we have Asian Go Player on the Witch Doctor, Sleepy on the Gyrocopter, Ponies on the Zeus. Oh, I believe Ponies? No, Ponies was mid last game. That is correct. The Untamed on the Axe, and Noobish Noob on the Clockwork. This is going to be an interesting lane, the Clockwork Axe lane.
Yeah, I think it's going to work fine for them. Who's the support? Yeah, it's Avenge. Avenge has actually pretty crappy base damage at level 143, so I feel like between like Battle Hunger and Clockwork chasing after Avenge, I think there's a really good chance that they can out-pressure the Avenge and make sure that she can't stabilize the lane for Luna. But I guess they'll have Lunar Blessing. That's one benefit. And if they also get Vengeance or on top of that, that's a lot of right-click damage coming out of this lane.
Yeah, but, I mean, like, Vengeance, Aura, and Lunar Blessing.
And 2 melee heroes. Versus 2 melee heroes, I think that's
I mean,
not all bad.
Looks like this, I don't even know how Microsoft was able to get that down there. Oh, no. Oh! Uh-oh. At least Sleepy is going to be losing a whole lot of HP. Well, it looks like Asian Go Player very ambitiously heading all the way in solo.
Maybe in trouble. No, never mind. Sinking went a different way. Didn't go for the cutoff. Although this could be good. They'll have arrow as well. This is really dangerous for Witch Doctor here. Should be a kill.
Oh, that's going to be first blood going the way of Team Microsoft. Team Microsoft currently leading the series 1-0.
A painful way to get first blooded, because with Mirana getting the last hit, that's potentially fast boots or a faster Aquila to harass the Gyrocopter. Now he's going to be contested even harder. Oh man, really bad start there for Workday.
Dude, I gotta say, we just heard a deny from Zeus, which is the most unimaginable thing possible.
Hey, you just got a base damage buff, man.
Well, he got a base damage buff, but Zeus also got a nerf to the lightning bolt damage. It used to scale
well,
a little differently. Still has the same max damage, but
it's 70. It's still plenty high. It's not the 85, of course, but I mean, he's got 2 Ironwood branches and he hits for 61 average damage. That's insane.
Oh, baby!
That's a lot.
I mean, seriously, you may as well put him in the front lines at that point.
Yeah, basically, give him a Mjolnir, dude. Truly make the build all the way real. Battle Hunger on Axe up here. Clockwork spamming some cogs, having some mana problems, of course, because power cogs do just get nerfed mana-wise.
Oh my god, power cogs are the most annoying thing to play against when you've played 20 games of Dota and you just don't understand what's happening to you. Power cogs is one of those lot of text spells.
Yeah, I can imagine that being frustrating. But they're kind of just, it's kind of a very boring dual lane execution here. They're all kind of just standing here. No one's really harassing too much. Everyone's trying for last hits and denies. I'd like to see like a side pull. Looks like Clockwork will go for it now. But nobody, I don't even think he's cast a Battle Hunger a single time now. Any time under the Avenge would be good. But,
okay, relatively conservative play from both sides. Ooh, Very nice ward placement there, seeing all that's going to go on. The real question for me is how Sleepy is going to fare as this game goes on, because it is going to be tough to remember what happened in the last game, all of those deaths early on. And if you just start off against a Sand King Mirana, this is a really easy combination to just spew away tons and tons of kills. Of course, in a charitable fashion, consistent with the theme of this entire tournament.
Yeah, and I think that's why they open with the Sand King every time, is because it makes sure that their lanes are going to be pretty much fine, however that they end up drafting into it later. It just gives them a safe opening. It's another, like, no matter what offlane hero they pick, that pairs with, everything pairs with Sand King's done. Like, you get a ranged disable and initiate while right-clicking. Anybody falls up on that. It's perfect. So they just get to get their ranged hero that can also harass the safe lane carry. He does finish his Aqua, so now he's hitting for 70 damage, whereas Drow is hitting for 49. He's not even going to be able to last hit at this point.
Wow, very fast Soul Ring coming out for Ponies. Looks like not going to go for, you know, fast mana boots or fast bottle, which I feel like is a little more typical for Zeus. Well, I guess it makes sense. Skipping the bottle, given the change in regen, you can kind of get away with just using regular old mana game. But I mean, this feels like a very passive choice for Ponies, trying to go for the Soul Ring just to make sure that there's constantly enough mana to lightning zap for last hits. But even so, it was all yellow, still ahead, 19 last hits to 14. Just trying to get a lot of harass in, and right now it was all yellow's kind of out of health.
I mean, it's basically working, and especially because he got this so fast, now he's just spamming him completely out of the lane, which is making it worthwhile. I was going to criticize it. I'm not the biggest fan of Soul Ring on Zeus, but considering how much he's just been able to zone his opponent, it seems very valuable. Even with static field, he's actually just last hitting with his regular hero, and then he's spamming lightning bolt with the power of the static field to just super harass his opponent constantly.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Yeah.
This big mistake for Storm to walk up, though. He needs to be getting last hits from range, make his opponent work for these harassments. He's trying too much to abuse Remnant, and it's costing him big. And he gets unlucky. That's so painful. But at least Sand King is going to hold the bot one.
Yep.
But this is a lot of time that he's going to have to spend just grabbing that. But at least he gets the rune. It would have been like game over if he had to go back to base here.
This is going to be real painful.
Maybe a dive top?
Looks like dive top. Extraordinary answer from THC, and it looks like the Untamed is going to try to just divert Noobish Noob. Just whack the cogs and get the hell out of there, man. Oh my gosh, Noobish Noob making my heart hurt. Noobish Noob. What a guess! Wow!
That was actually insane, you're right.
That was ridiculous.
Does he have another caustic? Okay, he does. He's slow.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible by THC. He just estimated perfectly where he'd be.
That was really nicely done.
I use that demeaning term guess. I know it wasn't a guess. I just can't believe his ability to just judge that well. What a baller boss. What a kick-ass badass. Oh!
Alright, we're good.
I felt that, man. I feel like cockles stood up on the back of my neck, and I had those horrifying memories of every single time I've been like, there's no way that arrow's going to hit me. And then I had 4 seconds to sit down and reflect.
Sleepy's going to stabilize the lane a little, though. He's 18 last hits. It's not great. How does Storm at 30 last hits? What's happening in this game? Did you notice this?
I don't even understand.
I just assumed he was, like, ultra dumpstered.
Yeah.
No, everything whenever I spectate him, he's just ultra dumpstered. But apparently he's making it work here. Good roam though. This is gonna be bad for him. This is a kill, I think.
Completely with this, but
we killed the wrong cog.
Oh, that last final shot.
That was so close, like
not
3 times.
Agent Double Fuzzy. Yeah, I mean that was a extremely important kill for Noobish Noob. But I mean I got to admit I'm completely and shocked at the fact that he had 30 last hits at just after 5 minutes. I mean, he's dead now, so he's fallen behind, but I mean, it looked like he was getting owned.
I'm very confused, to be honest.
Ooh, Sleepy. I'm getting real worried about Sleepy. I mean, the Witch Doctor is doing his absolute damnedest to make sure this lane continues to get pulled back, but Sleepy is now out of mana, and I mean, the Morris is no stranger to just abruptly ganking and getting kills.
He's got 2 mangoes, though, so I don't think it's too bad for him.
I'm terrified for him. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Ponies smells something happening because he can see it. He's seeing and smelling all at the same time and identifying he's under threat, pulling back to the backside.
I mean, this is a good time for them to be here because if they can be here when Storm is 6, that should be a little bit of disable to make sure that Storm's life is easier here. Still playing very careful, though. 37 last hits now on him. Huh, I assumed
Dire's top tower
I thought
is
that
under
I thought
attack.
Sniper got outlaned last game, but this game he's owning. So I don't know. Maybe he's just
Yeah.
more comfortable on Sniper, perhaps.
Oh!
That was very lucky.
Radiant's bottom
I
tower
saw
is
that.
under
Did you catch
attack.
that?
No!
Storm?
Dire's
I was looking down in the bottom lane. Storm just got killed by a neutral creep. Where did that
Yes.
happen?
He was walking past the Ancients. I think somebody else aggroed them.
Yeah.
Like the support went to stack it. So when Storm started walking with him, the creeps kind of started looking at him, and then the Zeus ultied, so he got low enough for the neutrals to kill him. So he just literally got killed by neutral creeps.
That's very fortunate for Team Microsoft.
Yes. That one's got to feel bad for sure.
I mean, finally Sleepy's getting the opportunity to begin getting some real advantage in this bottom lane. Finally, solo farming down here, getting the question mark to 9. Woo! Those battle pass levels.
I think it's because Mirana's items have actually been on the courier this whole time. Like, she still only has boots and Aqua. Her phase is coming up now, so now she's going to be able to harass the gyro to the extent that she should have been able to for a very long time here.
Of course, for any of you asking, Microsoft currently leads the series 1-0. Accidentally didn't tick the best of 3 result in the lobby when the game created. Of course, you would expect with NA commentators on NA games for there to be NA production value. So indeed, everyone just remember and say in chat.
I don't think that's what it wasn't. Wasn't the lobby creator Sleepy? He probably did this tactically.
No.
Be like, well,
oh,
we did
I
lose
see.
game 1, but
Oh, that's so smart.
let's see if they don't notice.
Yeah, no, that's gosh, I guess given the way that forgot to instruct the thing to be set up properly. I mean, Sleepy, I guess the series is back down to 0-0. Yeah, what a comeback.
It's gonna be a long day, basically.
Yeah, that's right. Microsoft is in fact up 1-0 right now, but Workday putting in the work. Oh, Agent 00 Fuzzy felt chains on her bum. No connection did in fact happen. Untamed a little bit far forward. Level 6 and level 6. This offlane has been going quite well for Workday.
He's got the Vanguard now, so basically being the lane aggressor is certainly easy at this point. He's got a 7-stick, a Tango as well, while my dog barks. Oh, little spin harass, that always feels good.
Goodbye, man. Ponies is just punishing at every opportunity. I just still cannot believe how well it was all yellow was farming
Dire's
despite all
middle
this.
tower is under attack.
They're thinking about diving too, they're getting ready. Tower's being hit. Luna's in trouble.
Uh-oh. While this dive happens, the Morris is on killing spree, managed to get Witch Doctor. Sleepy has not fallen up in bottom lane. It looks like Sleepy's attempting to answer, and whew,
With honor.
barely manages to get that kill using the
Is that a
extra.
rocket kill?
It was a,
Oh, flak. Okay.
yeah, flak cannon. Alright, looks like the Untamed is going to fall with 4 showing up in the top lane. Doesn't manage to get any sort of fancy spins. Pony's low on mana, just trying to push this lane out. This is one of the problems with Zeus at this
Dire's
phase of the
bottom
game,
tower
that
is under attack.
Zeus can't really get a kill on the mid tower without there being a lot of extra help from the teammates.
That's true.
Storm has plenty of mana to be able to get out of there, and indeed does.
Bounty respects, man.
Dire's
It's
middle
tempting,
tower
especially
is
when you have a
under
bottle
attack.
like this. That's going to give you a lot of mana to pop 3 charges, refill it with a
Yeah.
bounty rune, and then get the next set.
It looks like it's going to be Speedy Zeus. The Untamed boldly marching forward again. Looks like the current leads in net worth are on Workday. This was in the favor of Team Microsoft previously. It was all yellow. Leading in. THC a little bit behind. Getting mana drained.
Very hopeful. Very low chance of that being successful. He would have to, like, hook shot into Power Cog's push into another stun, and that just was not going to happen without him being ball laning us. So that's actually a pretty big loss from Clockwork. You got to save your ultimates for moments where you can force initiations. They're going to go on the Axe top. He looks to be in trouble, for sure.
Going on Axe on top. Maledict manages to land, but not quite connecting excellently. Looks like ult from Zeus. I'm pretty surprised at how tanky Untamed feels at this stage in the game, and it looks like Mirana's, excuse me, not Mirana, Luna's little
Radiant's bottom tower
low
is
on
under
health.
attack.
I mean, Untamed is pretty brave moving forward.
Yeah. That was just damage execution issues. They messed that one up. They needed to commit the full Eclipse to him. They missed a lot of the beams on some creeps here.
Oh,
They weren't already at the same time. Luna's our skill build is a little bit weird too. 2 Lunar Blessing, that could have been an extra point in Lucent Beam. So there's a couple of small things here that led to Axe standing. But he's at about half HP. They should be able to kill him, but supports aren't 6 yet.
Radiant's bottom tower has been denied.
Witch Doctor needed to go.
Noobish Noob denied the bottom tower. It's just Mirana and Clock down there. Gyro's in the
Dire's
mid,
top tower is under attack.
trading.
Radiant's
with our
middle
friendly
tower
Storm
is under
Spirit.
attack.
It's a huge deny,
Miruru's
actually.
pretty low. Yeah, I mean, at this point, This is an opportunity possibly to swing back, but no, Untamed has already taken out the top tower. Looks like Noobish Noob. Oh no, oh this poor man. Alright, I bet you $1 that Morris is going to try to just throw out the most absolutely absurd sacred arrow, and it's never mind.
I'll take that. I mean, he's just going to hit creeps. We know how this guy plays.
Damn.
He'll take the opportunities when they present themselves, but for now, he's just going to do the safe thing.
Noobish Noob, I think, can just get a little bit of chipping damage off. No real attempt to engage. Wouldn't have been so good.
Just seeing, again, inefficient movements, kind of similar to last game, basically.
Yeah.
They should have killed Axe top. They had 3 heroes. They had the heroes there to do it. They just executed him properly. And then as a result, Axe gets to stay in his lane, constantly contesting Luna farm. The opposite lane is the Morris winning his lane. And then they're not setting up kills to gank him because, again, they're disable limited. And Clockwork is, I think, the hero that needs to make these ganks effective. He can kill Luna right now by himself. He basically needs to be near the Axe to help set up, but I'm not really sure why he's in this midway point.
Oh my gosh. Hope maybe he had an itch and he needed to scratch it, but that's the wrong time. You just let that itch stay there for the rest of the 45-minute long game.
Oh, they're
Moonlight Shadow used. Oh my gosh. Untamed pulling back. Noobish Noob is going to be the target. He's a little bit isolated. All elsewhere, I mean, Workday needs to be aware. They don't even see anyone on Microsoft save for this Mirana in the bottom lane. Got to be real careful as Mirana, though. I mean, as good as Jump is, this stage in the game, Gyrocopter can just blow her up super easily if she's not careful.
Yeah, if she makes a mistake, Rocket Barrage is way too much damage to tank for 90 mana, and you're gonna it's like a really strong. Oh, they're gonna get Axe on the at least.
Well, it looks like the attempted hook goes awry, and it looks like 1 charitable donation given.
2.
It was all yellow.
2 kills for him. That's huge. That's gonna finish his Kaya now. He's got another clarity to get back up to full. Got runes spawning in a moment. In the meantime, Zeus has just been sitting mid still. This tower's at 60.
Yeah.
It's like at 40% HP or something.
This is the most painful thing about playing as Zeus. I mean, you can clear these waves, do great work, but then once you've cleared the waves, you gotta hope that your puny little melee creeps with their 22 damage can take the tower down. It's so hard to kill a mid tower by yourself as Zeus. You almost always get at least some farm, but it needs to start translating that into kills. Right now, the net worths are relatively even. Immunolog at the top lane, the Untamed is in position to hopefully make some magic happen. We see Go player hanging out there, just trying to maybe capitalize if Untamed can get off some sort of good call. But like you were saying, Clockwork is really the only one who can dive on in there.
Yeah, the supports need to play around Zeus, or Zeus needs to play around his other cores as they get engaged on or take fights, and then things will happen, and Zeus doesn't care that he can't take the mid tower. Or if the supports rotate mid and get a mid kill, then they will take the tower afterwards because they have 3 heroes.
Uh-oh. Looks like there's going to be a dive on. Wow, what an arrow!
I'm not giving you $1 for that. It doesn't count. It's way too late.
An incredible profit being turned out as we're streaming live.
He's almost got his Mjolnir finished too, or Maelstrom on Mirana.
Uh-oh. No mana. No mana. Cogs. There's Zeus with the... No way! Oh, the wand charges in order to get out. Now that the Zeus ult is down, there's just not that much threat. It was all yellow with an absolutely excellent wand usage, waiting until the very last second with literally no mana.
Noobish Noob again misusing Cogs though. He shouldn't be aiming to catch the storm inside of it. I think it's still more important that he pushes him. That way he can mana drain him further. Because if he gets his wand off and then the power cogs pushes him and he loses 80 of that mana that he gets from the wand, it's completely different. They'd have a much better chance of chasing him down all the way. So
Nimbus incoming for Zeus. Looks like Blink done for Axe. Super key item.
Yes. Now they definitely need somebody to play around the top lane. Or they'll just do it mid instead. And here comes the push. They can get a catch with Call. I would like to see Untamed wrap rather than go from the front, but...
It was all yellow, gonna try to just handle this all on his own. Just gonna try to throw down more of those remnants to soak up that farm. Oh, the greed is so fantastic. I love when a player plays greedy and succeeds. It inspires me to start making more reckless plays. But no! Too far forward, the Swapperoni! Here comes the ultimate from Sand King. The channel is in. Oh, doesn't manage to get the stun on the Axe. Axe immediately slam dunks her right between her teeth. Oh my god, what is even going on? Alright, if any of you ever wanted to look like, or wanted to get a chance to know what it feels like to be John Lasseter on Robitussin, it's right there. Oh my god.
That was so unlucky.
That was literally the most unlucky thing I have ever seen in my entire life. That was awesome. Oh my god.
What a crazy fight. That was a buyback from Venge as well. I think
that
absolutely
was hilarious.
But
oh my god, that match delivered. Spin to win.
Axe got 1,200 gold from that engagement, so that's most of the, or at least half of the way towards Blade Mail. In the meantime, Luna's just slapping top tower. I don't know why she didn't teleport. I definitely think that should have happened.
Has fallen.
Oh, can Sleepy get the... Sleepy does get the stun, and it looks like we have a very bold Witch Doctor. Oh my gosh. Go players like, Sleepy, where were you, man? I was trying to set it up for you, man. And of course, Sleepy immediately mutes his microphone, because sometimes you just have to sit through the guilt and keep farming.
Yeah, I don't know how imperatively he said don't chase that into the darkness against the Luna, but yeah, a nice little feed kill there for Luna while she's going to accelerate through the jungle. Probably faster than Gyro can as well.
Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how ridiculous that fight was. That was the funniest thing I think I've ever seen. I like could not process what was happening. That fight was so good. Oh my god, the nerves setting in. Even chat is having a hard time completing their sentences in coherent manners. The trembling, the shaking in their hands. Can they pull it down? Can chat clutch it? Noobish and Zeus moving down.
He's spending some time jungling. I think I want to see him go get kills though. Maybe just find some time until his team was ready to fight. But they just need to blink axe call with Zeus there every time, and someone's gonna die. And that's where they're headed. Storm mid.
Uh-oh. Here comes the blink call, and gotcha. Oh, the dunks, and of course the hook over the dead body just to make sure he can throw the microphone right on the corpse. There it is. Yiruru marching down top lane, doing a great job farming. Looks like going for Yasha and then just not completing it into Manta, just going to go straight for Dragonlance, just going to use that Yasha for the move speed. Bottom lane, of course, Morris is home in all of these matches, just making sure that he's pushing in.
He's doing a great job. He's pushing out lanes all the way, forcing enemy reactions, and then instantly going back to hit up a jungle where it's safe. This is definitely the right way to play, but there's great wards for the Radiant team. They're going to see him, they know he's vulnerable, they may try to secure kills. They're not really walking at him.
Oh my gosh. This is where the Morris takes a trip to Dead Town. Looks like this is where Morris takes a trip to Live Town.
Yeah.
Noobish Noob just continues to fire. Looks like not quite the right coordination. I think that it was on cooldown, not the rocket barrage, but the homing missile. A little bit painful.
It's way too hard to catch up all the way anyways. I don't think it's unreasonable from the back. I do wish Gyro had more items. He's got 3 empty item slots, and this always screams to me that there's a problem here. That should be like a magic stick, or TP scrolls, or something else, but it looks very weird to have like naked BKB Aquila phase boots. Certainly some problems with this. Drums of Endurance, Sanjin Yasha, something like this. Nope, looks like going straight in for the Aghanim Smepdor. Which is fine. And the BKB rush I think was not terrible this game, just based on like all the magic nukes that his enemy team has, but I just would have liked to see a bit more of a trend, even like a magic wand or something. I think would be a nice way to adapt. With that said, he's got a lot of last hits. He's doing well in that department. It's not quite Luna levels, but certainly like approaching. Coming in. I think Luna's going to be the huge problem. I mean, Yiruru has been doing a really diligent job of farming as much as humanly possible throughout this, and that is like the big target. Oh, whiffs the call. Doesn't even matter. Hope dunks. God, that feels so good to watch every single time. Let me tell you, I don't root for teams. I root for Axe. Just continue to dunk. Yiruru with a very smart insta-TP over to the bottom shrine to make sure that she's in safe territory to gobble up as much farm as possible. The Morris, I don't know how to tell you this, Kevin, but the Morris is pushing the bottom lane.
I'll take that.
Believe it or not, this is where he lives. Yeah. Nothing else really matters. Just hit creeps, push the lane. Sleepy's trying to stabilize a little bit mid. He's still getting some farm, but not that much. In fact, he's missing a lot of last hits. It's 2 in a row just now mid. I've seen him whiff on a little, but Untamed is not going to be able to get a kill, but at the very least is going to push the Morris back, make the Morris regret rue the day she ever chose to push the bottom lane. Storm Spirit's looking for something. No, one thing I'd really like the Radiant team to do is actually put a ward somewhere in their jungle. They have one in the lane approaching like where the old tier 1 was, but if they have one in the jungle and they see the Morris, they can actually just kill him. Like, Axe isn't going to die here. He's got tons of HP. Mirana only has 1,000, so if he actually gets like a blink call with Blade Mail on the Mirana, he can definitely get a kill there. So they just need to control that guy, because he just always pushes the lane. Like, the reason that Gyro has no farm is because the Mirana's always in the lane pushing it, and generally has better laning advantage than the carries. So Gyro, if you just kill the Mirana, Gyro can push this lane safely all the way to the enemy tier 1, and then he can go do the jungle rotations. And that's what they're getting on Microsoft with the Luna. They're losing both lanes in terms of how that should function. And the only way they can stabilize that is if they do good ganks with their other heroes in the meantime, and they're not doing that.
Oh, this is a rough position to be in as Workday. The Zeus has been unable to transition that early farming lead into yet more farm, yet more kills, sitting down at right dead in the middle. And it looks like, oh, Untamed tries to blink forward, get the call off, but instead every single stun that has ever been created in Dota lands right on his face. Witch Doctor ult manages to take down the Sand King, but Axe is done. Looks like Luna throws down the ultimate, but Sleepy answers with the BKB, and it looks like this Luna might just fall or kill everyone. Oh my god, every one of these fights is ridiculous. In this game, everybody just successfully died. Noobish Noob looking at the corpses. Oh, can we get the...
He's going, or here comes. Alright, it's missing. Unless he leaps back into it.
Oh. Triple kill, quadruple kill, everyone dies. I don't even know who came out ahead or behind in that fight, but it looks like relatively close in terms of net worth. In terms of the objectives, lead does go to Workday, but really feels like this Luna is just the ever-increasing threat. This is not where Luna is. This is where the former corpse of Luna is.
You can't accuse either of these teams from not committing to the fight. That is for sure. They are jumping right in. Axe stayed alive way longer than I think anybody expected him to. Reflected a bunch of damage. Storm jumped in, basically just died instantly. Some stun hit him. Maybe it was like the homing missile that was going to hit somebody else, and then...
Oh, what a dodge on that call. THC going to come back, maybe see the exact same play again. It looks like... Oh my god, they both tipped the Storm Spirit. They thought that was sick. Look at this. And all of a sudden, everyone in chat, it's immediately what happens every time suddenly the tip mechanic is being remembered. And everyone's like, oh my god, I feel a lot of pressure to tip. I'm just going to tip someone at random. And indeed, we start seeing the tips spraying out wildly.
Dork is ready on Storm finally, though. 23 minutes, so definitely slow, but... I mean, he can kill Zeus with this. Zeus has got to be a little scared. Yeah. I was actually really surprised when you mentioned Zeus's farm level. He is actually super low on the farm level. I'm not really sure why, but probably because no ganks or fights are really happening, and he doesn't farm naturally as fast as the other heroes, I'm assuming. But he should be keeping even.
Oh, what a hook! Immediately, Zeus throws down the ultimate, but looks like too bad. See you later. And oh, the incredible blink call dunked upon Workday, coordinating magnificently there in the last few minutes. I mean, oh.
That's exactly what needs to happen.
Yeah, after the ridiculous 4-for-4, where some supports wandered away crying, weeping, that no towers could fall, suddenly Workday joins together, immediately eliminates Sand King, immediately eliminates Luna, and now this mid tower is likely to fall, but another incredible blink call from Untamed, and there it is. Dunk it! Dunk it! Oh no! A different kind of dunk, a long-range dunk, a Mr. Fantastic dunk coming out from Noobish Noob on the clockwork. It was all yellow. With no bloodstone in sight, has to walk back. He's not used these legs in a long time. He's like the people that live in the spaceship in Wall-E. It was all yellow. Needs to get that bloodstone, man.
And that's basically what would have been waiting for it to happen. Axe catches Mirana. Very easy solo kill with the Blade Mail. Sleepy's been committing mid to the tier 2. It's cost him quite a bit of health. He's going to have to back now, but he'll be able to finish things up. But this is how Zeus accelerates. He just needs clockwork to start a fight and get a hook on the right guy.
Storm Spirit blinks in. Oh, what a BKB immediately zips out, but Clockwork is going to trap himself temporarily. THC and Luna suddenly are in a vulnerable location. Looks like that barrage coming out from Noobish Noob gets a few pecks out on the THC, and suddenly I'm giggling because I didn't realize that I found the word peck to be so funny, Kevin, but it is. It's a very funny word. Very nice answer there from Team Workday to stay coordinated and pull it together.
Yeah, it's kind of a reminiscent of what we saw last game. They're a little bit better at grouping as 5 and making stuff happen. Whereas Microsoft is just going to get more out of their lanes, but are they? I don't know if they're going to scale nearly as well this game. Like Mirana as a snowball carry is not nearly the same as something like Wind Ranger, who can just press focus fire and kill a man. Mirana's fine, but I'm not really sure how she transitions into the ultra late game. I'm sure she'll buy like BKB and Handler and stuff, but I just don't have the same confidence.
Go players trying to carefully turn this into some sort of kill, but needs to be so careful because if Go player is too far forwards, all yellow can just whip around, take them down. Untamed and THC getting into a little fighty fight here. Wow, Boots of Travel on the Untamed.
Yeah, once again, one of the heroes on Workday need to be top lane hitting these creeps. There's no reason to have all this many people grouped together on your side of the map. It's a big loss, unless they're planning to smoke or something. But I don't think it's a good time to do it. The top creep wave is like 6 or 7 creeps. They don't need a 5-man push to make this work. This is what makes sense to them, and they do semi-successfully. But it's better if you push the lanes like once or twice, then TP, instantly smoke, move across the map. If you're efficient like that, everything's different. But now, if they get an engagement, they're not even going to be able to push very easily. They'll have to go either mid or take Roche with it. And I think they're aiming to get Roche with a successful fight.
Big smoke gang. Uh-oh, looks like one of the two possibilities of shutting down Luna manages to connect the blink call. Hook manages to go through, but that's what redundancies are for. Looks like Agent 00 Fuzzy's on the retreat. Storm Spirit continuing to just march around the bottom lane. I mean, if you just look at the way these lanes are going, there's a lot of kills coming out from Workday, but just as you suggested earlier, someone needs to be pushing out top and bottom lane. I mean, these are where the two objectives are for Workday. Team Microsoft is looking relatively good.
If they'd pushed top before they did this movement, this tower wouldn't be taking damage. It's not a big deal, considering they got the engagement. And the important thing is that Axe got the blink call before the BKB was popped by Luna. And consistently, Luna spends a lot of time in her jungle.
Yeah.
It just, the game feels very static, right? Like, if we looked at heat map, Luna's always in the top lane. When the Mirana's always in the bottom lane, and the other players are kind of in between, but not really backing up their cores as well as they might need to. And they're not setting a tempo of their own, and as a result, eventually Workday will, like, kind of laze their way into getting a good team fight, and they're going to get advantage from this. Very, very reminiscent of the previous game.
Oh, the ever obnoxious Nimbus is out. Nimbus is so sick. Costs a ridiculous amount of mana, but
what do you think he's going to do at level 20? Do you think he's going to go for mini stun against the Zeus, or go for cooldown reduction so he does more damage? I'm not really sure.
Like he should go for mini stun because he just does not have that much mana regen, so he just needs to be more efficient with his existing spells.
I mean, he's got Kaya and Soul Ring. It's not terrible. And then he's going to build a Eul's next.
Oh, that's right. He does have a Soul Ring. I never have been factoring that in this entire game. He actually has way more mana than I was thinking.
Yeah, he's okay for now. I think it can work out. They're going to deward some of the observers. There's actually so many sentries on the ground. I think the safer thing to do is just buy a gem at some point. But they put so many sentries on. Who's been buying these? Venge or something? Probably Venge.
The Morris, the clear target. The Untamed needs to be careful. He's running the risk of just diving in there and getting blown up.
That's what he wants, man.
The case. Dude, that's what we
want,
too.
The Blade Mail. Zeus backs him up. Like, wherever he finds an engagement right now, he's going to have at least Zeus ulti and Nimbus. That's like at least 2 bolts. So a lot of damage to be thrown out here. But again, the part of the problem with Workdays are not pushing lanes, and as a result, it's hard for them to get vision control because they basically have to do this like ward vision that kind of covers them in this kind of area. But if they push the lanes in the opposite way, like this, then they only need like a couple crucial wards, like 3 wards to kind of concave around their enemy base. So a little bit more lane pushing, they'd be in a better spot. They can do the same thing, use Clockwork Rocket to push lanes.
Looks like they've thrown out the rocket flare. They see the THC is up here in the trees. There's lots of circles going down for Workday. Yiruru, again, being really on point about just ensuring she can just keep warping around to farm. And, I mean, really, Microsoft might just win due to their ability to push lanes here. I mean, it's pretty much dead. Barely whiffs on the call.
2 TPs back. Now Witch Doctor is running for his life.
Storm sort of sniffing out how to escape this slightly tricky situation. Oh, the most dangerous courier that ever was. Oh, that is 1 Nimbus away from getting picked off. It looks like Go Player was just trying to do a little bit of pushing up at the top lane, just a little bit of pushing. But nope. Getting blowed up. Noobish Noob doesn't quite manage to get the Morris kill, but does get low. The Untamed continuing to march forward. The top lane's finally a little far forward, pushed in for Team Workday. Microsoft's retreating and just continuing to farm. I mean, Yiruru, I believe, is way ahead of everyone in terms of levels in the game. Only player past level 20.
Zeus definitely approaching. He's got the experience perk, though. But still not that many defensive items on the Radiant team. I mean, if you engage on anybody when Axe isn't there, I think Microsoft is more than fine in these engagements. But they haven't really been... They've been pushing lanes, but they haven't been doing a great job searching for these kills.
Wow, that's going to be it. One more zap. And the dunk! Whoa! I mean, there are just pieces of Sand King all over this forest, man.
Some of them are in the ground. It's pretty bad, man.
Bring your metal detector. It's time to find some treasure, man.
GPM perk for Witch Doctor, so he can get more out of standing around on his side of the map, at least.
Go Player's been having a rough game so far, so the extra cash is going to be super helpful. Uh-oh.
That's a good catch. Wave of Terror for safety, spots out the Axe.
Has Blink up. Moonlight Shadow. Defensive Moonlight Shadow. Clockwork is kind of walking into nothing right now. Looks like just trying to scout and find what's going on. This is a really tenuous position to be advancing in from. I mean, right now Workday is joining together to try to push his top lane. The Untamed.
So the issue basically is Microsoft likes pushing lanes so much, and their other players don't feel very comfortable initiating on opponents that are spread out. But I think they have some opportunities for these. They're just not well taking advantage of it. And as a result, it's just kind of Workday always walking around as 5 and accomplishing things. But if they were just a little bit better at catching people, engaging and ganking people while their other heroes were split pushing, they'd be in a better spot. But instead, they're kind of forcing this like this split push solution. It's looking okay though. Luna's hitting the tower. Here come the TPs. Now, if Luna can TP back right now and start a fight top, this would be perfect. No, this isn't going to work. He's going to call off. That was a huge mistake.
Big error. BKB down, TP down, Luna down. But meanwhile, at the top lane, it looks like the Untamed left his family up north. Unfortunately, it means that Witch Doctor's going to die, but Sleepy's doing a pretty legit job of cleaning up. Ooh. Aegis is going to go down. Rest of the team is making their way up top. Looks like there's going to be Nimbus and 10. Once upon a time, there wasn't a gyrocopter. The end.
Literally zero chance of him surviving there. Mini stun is the pickup here for Zeus. So he's going to be able to stun a little bit more. But they're looking for an engagement. I think a Storm.
Oh, really?
Arrow pitch is 1. They could maybe kill the... Oh, with the Nimbus is kind of hard. Well, Blade Mail. Oh, he's going to die!
Oh, the axe was amazing! What an amazing blink in there! What an amazing call! What an amazing dunk! Axe just is this a BM pause? I don't understand.
Yep,
why did he pause? That's so cruel. Why did he? Oh my god!
They wrote about that.
I think that was an accident. That's so terrible. Oh my god! He pauses the game. Did he really do that? That had to be an accident. This is like there's not even. Oh my god! Sleepy tips the Untamed. He tips the Untamed. There's not even prize money on the line. They're playing for charity, dude.
Yeah, it's interesting. They warned about that. They're like, by the way, sorry in advance for my flaming ally. He likes flaming. It's just something you can't change about HR software coders. You know, they're just angry all the time.
I know, man. Untamed. I actually think today has a big banana grin on his face. They might be able to tie this series up. Microsoft is ahead 1-0, and you would know that because I know every single person here has been tuned in from the very beginning, been waiting all year in anticipation for this grand finals, and don't need to call out the fact that I accidentally messed up the overlay and it's not being displayed on screen. Looks like Iruru is back to farming mode, making way towards that Satanic. I'm going to split that Mask of Madness into some smaller, valuable pieces.
I mean, he did do a very good job. Caught the Luna. Not that Luna. I mean, it was basically like it was going to be a long chase for Luna to get out of there. She would have to juke the axe and then teleport or something. Yeah. But catching both the Luna and then getting that big blink haul on both the Venge and the Storm Spirit. If Venge sits far back a little bit, then everything changes. Venge could swap one of those players out, keep the Storm alive, and maybe they win that fight. But the axe just shredding everything.
Wow. I mean, the Untamed has been a beastly offlaner throughout this entire series. I mean, the mid-tier one is still up. Damn. I mean, I really think that Microsoft, Bane, and Mirana ganks need to start pushing lanes. They're, as always, doing a very good job of stacking camps, and Hiruru is rotating around farming. Storm is also doing a good job rotating around farming. Mirana, I mean, the Morris, who was pretty much the all-star in Game 1, has not been as active in pushing the lanes as you may expect.
I would say it's just that Mirana just doesn't do as much as a Wind Ranger does in a position of good farm potential. He's got BKB, it's helping him stay alive, but he's still vulnerable. He can't solo kill people as easily. It's more like he needs time to play around the fights, and if he gets called, he's going to deal a lot of damage to himself. The Gyro going a weird skill build, going cooldown reduction. I'm going to call that a big fat mistake. You do not skip 45 movement speed. There's no way you do that, especially with Ags. When you skip SNY and you go Ags instead, you need the perk to make up for the fact that your hero is slow. It's important. But if he goes global cooldown, this will solve their split push problems. But between cooldown and Nimbus and Clockwork Rocket, I think that's what they're aiming for. This is some like cheesy global strategy thing that they like.
Yes.
Probably
this is the sort of try-hard Dota I like to see. Well, looks like in exchange for their mid-tier 1, no, they're still not giving it up. There's the ultimate to try to spot out. Untamed manages to blink up, immediately kill. It was yellow. Just the edge of it. There's a lot of movement around.
They're fighting mid 2. Clockwork would go down. They've got vision.
Like THC is going to be able to get the stun on. Plants a ward down. Oh!
Oh, no. Okay, all right. Need one more.
Oh!
Kind of goes, but suddenly Axe.
Okay.
He doesn't quite manage to get the Luna, but, I mean, now, wow, Scythe of Ice on Axe.
Oh, he taunts him, actually. That's...
This is a brutal circumstance to be in for the Axe. Wow, wow, wow.
Not bad. I actually like his item build. The Scythe of Ice pickup late game is I think, pretty solid here. Gives him a lot of mana regen. He skipped the mana perk earlier, which means he can get the Scythe, but also get movement speed. He got attacking procs counter helix. I think this is a very disappointing perk generally, but it does give you more damage, and if he doesn't need the health regen, you could argue it's better. We'll see how he transitions later. I assume I could see him go Battle Hunger DPS. I think this is a good game for it.
Wow. I mean, at this point in time, Yururu has the Satanic up. I mean, is in a position to just suddenly turn this game around.
He can.
In one large team fight, but I mean, right now, oh, this poor creep really took the javelin to the face.
So the nicest thing about Axe is that he's an anti-carry. It's one of the best offlaners against that, because if you just call and blade mail, it doesn't matter that their items will hurt themselves. So it puts you in this really good position where maybe their best player, Axe, can basically win his lane, continue to contest it, set up ganks, and also be the anti-carry that they need to shut down the Luna that otherwise would be really hard to beat. But once she gets Butterfly and Satanic and the lifesteal perk at 25, this might be enough for her to stay alive against the Axe. And if they can keep her alive, especially with like swaps or something, and she can come back into the fight and deal a lot of damage, they could win this.
Coming in.
Wow. I mean, there is a lot of pressure right now on Team Microsoft to do something big with this push down here. Yururu is almost at level 25. Lanes are actually finally starting to get more pushed in. It's the bottom lane where it was all yellow. Seems a little bit caught out, but the entire team for Microsoft there to protect. And wow, that is right. I mean, Yururu did do a good job of picking off this bottom tower. They're just carefully picking off objectives, playing very methodically.
Radiant are scanning.
Could get caught though. She's got a haste for a bit, so maybe she'll be fine. But enemy team smokes to try to get a catch, but doesn't find him. There's the.
Wow, what a dodge!
Okay. Oh no, Blink's used.
All right, it was all yellow.
That was the whole map.
Yeah, that was. Bloodstone, good item on Storm. Good item. Sleepy's just sweeping through this lane. Yururu back to farming. Venge back to stacking. Not a lot of items on Vengeful Spirit. Just the good old Glimmer Cape. Blink, no force yet on Sand King.
A lot of these supports are in this territory where if they were just better at pushing lanes, they would have so many items and they don't realize it. Like Sand King could go bottom right now, push that lane out fairly safely, and once it gets like a 4-staff or a Yule's.
Oh my, what is... Whoa! Whoa, if you thought you were having a bad day... Go player is doing his best. Oh my gosh, is that it? Is that it? Maledict, see you later. Oh.
It's not a terrible fight for Microsoft here.
Denies it. I mean, Microsoft is trying
Oh, this is great.
Zeus is going to go down. That's an extremely nice pickup for Microsoft. Very hectic fight happening all over the place. Asian Go player falls down. Sleepy with the BKB, trying to turn it back around. But man, Luna, with that level 25% lifesteal, I mean, she is one robust tiger-riding lady, man.
And the Satanic, that's every hit, whatever damage she deals physically, she gets 50% of that back. So she can easily hit the Gyrocopter at this point, especially because he doesn't have his own butterfly finish. His farm rate is pretty disappointing, quite significantly lower than the Luna's. And most of this is honestly just pushing lanes. Pushing lanes would massively change the farm impacts of so many heroes in this game.
Agent Fuzzy just going to eat the rocket by the shrine. No ability to get Roshan yet. But the Morris right now just moving out. A lot of juicy creeps here. And the Morris does have the opportunity to just push that in. No one nearby there at this point in time.
Visibility.
Oh my gosh, it's so tense. So much tension. Microsoft currently leading the series 1-0. Untamed the Invincible is just bonking in on everyone. Going for an Abyssal Blade now. Oh my gosh. He is so farmed.
Which hero is getting that?
The Axe! The Axe is getting an Abyssal Blade!
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, he's already got Vanguard, so he's probably like, hey, I'll just upgrade my Vanguard. But I think it's probably not the right move. I think there's got to be a better pickup than the
player once again is, a little too far forward, and it looks like the rest of the team is there. And,
okay,
what a swap from Vengeful Spirit, but it looks like Luna. The Hex stunned forever. It looks like it's gonna live. No! Sleepy manages to take out the Luna. It looks like the Moonlight Shadow.
Sleepy's dead.
Not enough to save Sleepy. Is going to take a trip to See You Later Town. We see Zeus just rounding up around. God, Untamed gets so many dunks. I thought he was going to be out of range. Joining together to push down mid. It's Axe, Zeus, and Witch Doctor. One buyback from Gyrocopter feels like a smart decision due to the fact that there's just not a lot of tower hitting damage on the side of Workday right now, but Microsoft, THC in the corner, Agent 00 Fuzzy hanging out. Buybacks aplenty. Uh-oh, the tension's ratcheting up. The number of outs is rapidly approaching 0 for both teams, but it was all yellow, saying, if I can't win against other human beings, I can always win against buildings. Just going to the bottom lane, trying to push that in. And this is going to be at least some substantial damage on these barracks, given the fact that Workday is just going for Roshan, man. Is he actually going to do this?
Radiant's top tower has fallen.
Is he? Wow, so brave. Going for the melee axe. Uh-oh. Solo Zeus coming back.
I guess Zeus can stop this kind of, but it's kind of scary. He's got the Workday.
He needs to blink across the entire map again!
Alright, they defended. I mean, melee barracks is alive. He should have just been hitting range barracks the whole time, I think. Would have been the safer thing, because if you're just a Storm Spirit, trying to commit and guarantee that the barracks kill is really hard, but...
Wow.
It works out for them. Yeah, the Axe has been playing really well. Like, he's using Hex after call, so if he ever catches the Luna when she doesn't use BKB, she's pretty much in a really bad position, very likely dead, because that's a 3.2 second call with 3.5 seconds of Hex afterwards. You can't dispel that. Either of them, actually. So that's like 7 seconds where you just can't do anything.
A lot of Aeon Discage being used on the part of ponies. There's a very nice little defensive item set up here.
I'm not sold on him though. I think there's maybe who has one. It was the Zeus picked one up. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Maybe it's alright against a Storm. Maybe he kind of needs it, but I feel like if he would just farmed faster and would have had like a Yules, then he could feel like, oh, I have Yules and I can get a Lincoln Sphere, and that's gonna be fine.
Oh my gosh, if you get Yules and the movement speed talent on Zeus, you're a little rocket ship, man.
That's what he needs. He needs like more generic survivability, but because he's so far behind, he's in this position where like as a support where you're like, getting like one Glimmer Cape is not going to give me a solution. I need like I need the Aeon Disc no matter what to be able to make sure that I can stay alive for a little bit. But I just wish he had more farm, because it would allow him to transfer. But really, there's only like 2 heroes that have been farming super well, other than like Storm. But that's because all he's done this game is farm. Oh, he actually caught the Axe.
Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm surprised that they chose to engage against each other there. Looks like, uh-oh, they see that the Axe is out of position. They immediately dart on in there, but the Axe used the TP boots and instantly got back in time and is going to dunk down. Where's the Luna? She gets swapped out in time with that insane lifesteal. She is just tanking through everything. Huge damage from the rocket barrage, but it's not enough. Aegis down, Untamed continuing to dunk, and there is another dunk through. Untamed is just dominating this game. We don't see a pause out of Untamed, which means that he's probably been smacked in the head from his allies a little bit then. But still, we might see some tips coming out. My gosh.
Well, I mean, he's still carrying his team. I think the swap actually really hurt the Dire team that game, because Luna was at pretty healthy HP. She had BKB active. She was right-clicking the Axe, but she gets swapped away. Then it was like Venge dies instantly. If that goes the other way, wait until the Luna's like for sure in danger. It might have been a little bit different. Dealing pretty good damage.
This level 25 talent is so insane. How is this not going off?
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
I'll be able to clean this up just
I mean,
fine.
this Storm might actually just be able to... Really?
He's trying.
He's trying to do it. It's gonna make it work. Uh-oh, there goes Axe. There goes... No way! Uh-oh. Looks like there's gonna be... Oh. It's possible that he can get out in time. It looks like...
And they killed the
whiffs.
Nimbus. Oh, good blink.
Oh.
Shouldn't have. Oh, okay, that worked.
Good.
Oh, Storm's in trouble.
I'm not even doing commentary. I'm just making noise at this point in time. He has the Lincoln Sphere. He's trying to get out. Get out of there. Get out of there. It's an invisibility rune. No, he gets Abyssal Bladed and done. What a ridiculous exchange. Yeah, this was a buyback from Axe.
That was huge. That guarantees a Storm kill. And now they're going to be able to continue pushing mid with a bunch of dead heroes. If Storm just gets out there, TP's home or something like that, everything changes. But he wanted to stick around to maybe get the Zeus kill, but sticks around way too long.
Wow, there are so many buybacks going on. There's buybacks on the cores for Team Microsoft, but on the flip side, almost nothing. Buyback was just used by Axe, so that's down for another 7 minutes.
They're just waiting for anybody to come defend the creep wave here.
Yeah, right.
And Sand King got the kill on the Axe as well. Did they see him? They see him now for sure. If that kill would have gone to like Storm or something, you could maybe see another item that makes a big impact. But I don't have a lot of faith in the Sand King.
Dire's top tower.
Well, at this point in time, I mean, that was an Pretty nutty exchange, but now Team Microsoft, they're pretty much all back. They have enough wave clear to push through between Morris, Yiruru, and our fine yellow friend.
Mirana has a lot of damage right now. Oh, I mean, a lot of this is Vengeful Spirit Aura, because it's a 45% damage increase. But if they can keep like Mirana in the back lane very safe, and Luna in the front line staying alive with Satanic, I think Microsoft can definitely win fights here. But if the Zeus sits back, keeps putting Nimbuses down, things like that, that's going to be really hard for them to even hit the back lane.
Now, let all of you know, if Microsoft wins this game, they will be the champions and win 2-0. And their prize will be going to Child's Play. But if Amazon, this is not Amazon, Amazon is in the next series. If Workday manages to win this match, they'll tie it up and we'll go on to a Game 3. Whatever happens at the conclusion of this match, we will be doing the StarCraft 2 Grand Finals, which was scheduled for 3 o'clock, but we've been in some long games, Kevin. Some tense ones indeed at that. Top lane getting pushed in. Microsoft could, in fact, get the sick Objective Gaming. At 5 p.m., Overwatch is going to be going live over at AHGL.tv. As we're going to be continuing the StarCraft 2 coverage here with me and Maynard. Purge, it has been such a blast so far. I've been casting this series with you, man.
It's been a fun series. It's nice to watch teams that I can fully understand rather than trying to watch the best players in the world and make sense of what they're doing.
Oh my gosh, the damage output is ridiculous. Immediately Sand King gets blown up. Immediately Luna is trying to deal damage from the backline. BKB goes down. Lifesteal's really helping, but I don't really know if Luna's going to be able to get through this. There's going to be so much damage. No, it's not enough. The Nimbus stun, all those little mini stuns adding up, and now Workday has managed to pull off a complete team wipe. Buyback has to be the answer from Luna. All these barracks are getting wailed on by enemies. The creeps are doing their power-overwhelming moves, swarming down, getting one of the bottom barracks. Right now, Yiru is desperately trying to clear this, but has to be so careful because Untamed the Beast, the Rock, the Unstoppable, doing incredible jobs of blinking in, calling, abyssal blading, hexing, blade mail, hexed. There's the call. And the dunk. Whiffs.
No.
Oh.
Too many stuns. The lightning bolt from the Nimbus, that stun duration was actually huge this game.
Oh my gosh,
little right clicks with Satanic on were buying him time, but obviously MVP was Axe that game. It's pretty clear.
MVP Axe, you know, I'm actually going to hang out here on the game screen. This series is now tied up 1-1. I mean, we got to take a look at the scoreboard here and just look at the just incredible damage output from the Untamed. 21 and 6 and 9.
Yeah.
Just a complete murder. Almost 700 GPM on Axe, Kevin.
Was
700?
Very good. Well, I mean, you're pretty heavily round. It's a 661. It's like a light roundup, but it was good.
Yes, and if it was 651, we're rounding it straight up to the 700s, man.
Okay, all right, that's fair. He definitely played the best in the game for sure. The Dire team just seemed less coordinated. They weren't very good at setting up disables. Again, they need Sand King to set tempo, and they need Venge to sit behind to save cores from heroes. But they never really were able to keep their cores alive long enough to stabilize them. Like Storm never really felt like a factor this game to me. Just kind of farmed the whole game. Mirana kind of fought, kind of pushed lanes. Luna kind of
was not nearly as active as in the other first matches.
She can't do anything solo. Like Mirana solo, you have to land some crazy arrow that's hard to land. If there's a Sand King that hangs out behind you while you push the lane, who has a blink dagger, then hey, there's an opportunity. He channels Epi, blink burrow strikes, everything dies, you get an arrow follow up. That's a dead hero every time. But nobody was ever playing around their cores. The supports on both teams are actually really dropping the ball in that sense. They're not playing around their cores that are better players, that are pushing lanes, that are getting things done. And as a result, the cores, all they can ever do is just farm. That's it. And that's why, because their supports aren't playing around them very well. They're like warding. I think the Venge played pretty well defensively, but Witch Doctor I felt zero presence from throughout the whole game. Clockwork did okay early mid. He's got good assists, but it's probably a lot of like rocket flare damage and stuff.
I gotta be honest, I was pretty impressed with the way that Workday really turned things around once it got to mid game, because there was that period of passivity and Microsoft was doing a great job farming. They were starting to get more and more ahead, and Luna's always this ever-looming threat. If she ever gets too strong and is uncontested, then she can just run over an entire base unattended. But
she can kill the Axe. Even in that last fight, they were able to arrow the Axe. He was stunned for a long time, but Mirana was the only person that was right-clicking him. And once he got BKB off, almost all of Mirana's damage was magic, actually. She went for Maelstrom, and she got a Monkey King bar. I don't think the MKB was needed. That could have been like a Daedalus or something. If she gets a Daedalus there, she can probably still kill Axe when he uses BKB. But there just wasn't enough damage. They can't kill him. He ends up killing the Mirana. If they just killed Axe at the start of every fight, game is easy. Super, super easy. But it was very difficult.
Well, I want to let you guys know that we are going to take an unbelievably short break merely to let these players use the restroom, take a moment. It's going to be a very short one. It's going to be 2.5 minutes. Kevin and I are going to be right back, and we're going to go on to Game 3, the last game of the After Hours Gaming League Grand Finals for the Dota 2 between Workday and Microsoft, Bane, and Mirana Gank. Stay tuned, because the finals is coming up in 2. Go Rocket League, PUBG, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone, all available for your company's team to go play and have a good old time. You're always playing for the chance to win money for a charity of your choosing. It's for the casual tryhards among us. Go to discord.gg/AHGL, or, as you might imagine, you can always head straight on over to AHGL.tv.
So, openings. Microsoft bans out the Axe. Makes sense.
Radiant team bad.
All right. Microsoft thematically has been the offlane haters. I think that they've identified the Untamed, the captain of Workday. Not the captain, the drafter of Workday, as being the
Witch Doctor.
Most potent.
He's their best player, yeah, for sure. Definitely their best player. He's controlling the game the most each game. Microsoft again opens Witch Doctor. I think they're kind of hurting. I think they're still hurting themselves. Maybe their Witch Doctor player is very limited. Is this flipped?
Yeah, no, it's flipped. I mean, Microsoft is now on the Radiant. Yeah, and Dire's
they
on
stole
Workday.
Witch Doctor.
They're stealing each other's openings.
They are actually, yeah. So I think this has the likelihood of benefiting Microsoft more, I guess, is my initial thought. Just because Witch Doctor was first picked consistently by Workday, I assume that's his best hero by far. But maybe not. We'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't really do much with it anyways, right? So, I mean, no matter what happens, it's probably not a big deal.
Death wards, but I mean, it's still really pinned around the potency of the Untamed in a lot of this. So, Gyrocopter getting snatched up right away for Workday. Sleepyhead, pretty comfortable time with the Gyrocopter in that game. I would say performing better than with the Juggernaut pick.
Yeah, for sure. He did all right. Definitely had some inefficiencies and some play and build mistakes, but it was fine. He stabilized. He more or less did his job. He hit creeps at an okay rate. So I think it's going to be. I think what's important is making sure that they stabilize in the lanes. If he gets completely screwed out of the laning stage, then that's where he's going to get completely shut down.
Oh, now Rubik is one of the signature heroes for the Microsoft team. Bane and Mirana ganks.
Well, it's very good against tanking, is the most obvious thing. Steal, Burrow Strike, and Burrow Strike your opponents. If you can do that correctly, it is really beneficial, because that's pretty much the big benefit of tanking. I don't know if you watched, there was a game, I think, last night or the night before, where Optic played against the Sanking, and they had both a Rubik and a Morphling, and Morphling would turn into Sanking. So they would have 2 Burrow Strikes on their team versus the enemy 1. And they would just Burrow Strike, like, Paikai would turn into Sanking, Burrow Strike, then he would turn back into Morphling, then he'd waveform forward. So he basically had these like 2 movement damage-based abilities. It looked so good, dude.
That is NA primetime maneuvers from Pycat being snickety snatched up here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, they ban out the Wind Ranger. Definitely the more annoying, I think, of the offlane heroes coming out of Microsoft. They ban out. Oh, that's why they had to pick the Witch Doctor. Actually, they banned out the Venge as well.
Oh my gosh, so. I'm Untamed just joined in chat. How ridiculous! He's ghosting the draft.
Of course, naturally.
I'm Untamed. I'm Untamed is the player from Workday who had to tune in from New Zealand. So the Untamed actually woke up to play at 8 a.m. and managed to get off all those sick axe calls in the chat. Oh my gosh, I've never seen so many rosy-cheeked folks just, it's the Untamed. Everyone's sort of trying to fan off all this heat all of a sudden. I don't know. Why, goodness, it's Untamed. I do declare.
Hopefully he focuses on paying attention to the draft instead of sucking in the appreciation. But they're banning out another snowball hero, the Legion Commander.
He says it has 160 ping.
5 seconds
Little does he know, that's what you had to play Brood War on in the early days, man. You'd start the game off, pump that puppy to extra high latency, and then you'd get the game started.
160 is moderately high. It's not unplayable. I think it's definitely a disadvantage, but it's definitely manageable. I would say, but not easy. If you're playing like an initiator here who's precise like Axe, it can't be simple to have to play around that. So what, I guess I mean the biggest question I'm wondering what is Workday going to get for their offlane here? What is the Untamed going to use to control the game with all the bans that have come through so far?
Legion Commander getting snatched out by Microsoft once again, continuing their streak of offlane hate.
Legion is not Axe, so it doesn't work the same.
Yiruru tends historically to rely on Luna and Gyrocopter in a lot of the series leading up to this. Picking Luna once again, strong comfort pick. Starting to see some differences coming out of these drafts, but the bans have been pretty consistent from Workday, making sure that the Naga Siren, the Wind Ranger, the Drow, the Life Stealer, always out.
It actually looks pretty good for Workday here. Like what screams out to me from Microsoft is something like Luna kind of draft with like Venge and Beastmaster or something for all this aura damage. Like, and with them banning Drow, they're basically worried about being cheesed by Microsoft. So, not that it's not necessarily a legitimate strategy, but if they do get to group up like that and kind of just death push, it would be scary. But now that like Axe is out of the pool, I feel like Yiruru is going to be able to do way better with Luna because he obviously farms better than everybody else in this game, and he seems to be the best player from Microsoft. He just needs to have a better matchup, and he's going to be able to take that in the late game. But what are the solutions against them? I mean, with the Jakiro pickup, that's probably going to be their Witch Doctor substitution.
Absolutely,
I imagine.
Yeah.
So he's going to be able to lane dominate better than Witch Doctor can. He can push lanes. I don't know if he will, but hopefully he does. And then just transition to survivability items and try to land ice paths in the late game. Follow up on tanking, basically.
Witch Doctor Rubik very likely going to be the Agent 00 Fuzzy and THC combination, just marching around trying to be the Genki All-Stars.
I assume it'll be THC playing Rubik, I believe. Is that right? Did Agent Fuzzy play the 5 or the 4? I can't remember. Getting confused.
Agent 00 Fuzzy typically
he played Venge.
was playing the Venge in position 5, so we're expecting Agent 00 Fuzzy to be Witch
Faceless
Doctor.
Void.
Okay.
Oh, Faceless Void. What up? I'm Untamed. I make bubbles, friends.
Not necessarily guaranteed yet. We'll see. It could be. I think it's a decent chance, certainly, but I don't have as much faith in him playing a hero like Void, just because it's a lot more farm reliant and not as execution snowball. Like Axe is a
Not a bomb
snowball
in
like
there sort of guy, you know?
Win. Microsoft going for some team fight advantage to try to match their opponents. This is not bad for them. I mean, outside of like getting the worries about Chronos, like Enigma's going to need a BKB 100%. But if he can black hole Void and not get Chronosphered, and Rubik can steal Chronosphere, they should have a team fight advantage big time.
Well, I mean, the real question is, can you Faceless Void when you're playing from New Zealand? Due to the ping that is, not that the habitat in New Zealand makes it very hard to play this hero.
It's very difficult. The time difference. How can you vibe with Void correctly in the game, right?
With that hole in the ozone so close by, I mean, how can you stay focused on farming and throwing bubbles out?
Exactly. I think one thing I'm worried about for Microsoft is they don't really have any frontline tanky guys. And with Enigma being their offlane, it doesn't really seem like we're going to see any solution in that vein. They'll pick Medusa as their frontliner. This will give them pretty good stability. I actually do like their draft a decent amount. I mean, there's a lot of stuns on Workday, and the Chronosphere is certainly a little scary, and they don't have that much survivability. But if Medusa's in the front, gets her ulti off, it should buy them time to take a good fight, I feel like.
Two kind of farm-hungry heroes with Luna Medusa. I think that's going to be the biggest tricky thing, to just make sure that Enigma doesn't get starved out of getting an essential Blink Dagger and a BKB. I mean, you know, I'm actually curious, if you are in the midst of a black hole as Enigma, and Sand King tries to Burrow Strike in, I assume the Burrow Strike pierces through the black hole, or does Sand King just get sucked right up on up?
Because his Burrow Strike is kind of like a blink. It's like a teleport, kind of. So he won't get interrupted. It's not like a projectile thing that will stun people. It's more like the stun happens no matter what, and then at the end of the stun, Sand King teleports in. That's why sometimes you can dodge like Glimpse and stuff like that with Sand King Burrow Strike. So it's not really like a leap or anything.
Looks like Ponies is doing in the mid with Razor. It's going to be
like
Razor versus Medusa.
It's a pretty good Razor matchup, I would argue. Medusa is going to have a little bit of trouble farming, but with that said, there is a lot of farm potential on Microsoft, but if the game playstyles stay the same, they should be able to crazy out farm their opponents. Unless Void goes like Battle Fury or something. I guess I'd almost prefer putting Void safe lane against Enigma. Is that right? Maybe Gyro? I'm not sure. The lanes are kind of weird.
I mean, it's pretty much going to have to be a big reliance on Noobish Noob to make sure that the Untamed doesn't get completely shut out. I mean, if Asian 00 Fuzzy and THC are all spending the time tri-laning defensively for Yi Ruru, which we've seen them comfortable doing, then that can allow Morris to actually get the farm. But both these teams have been pretty consistent with doing 2-1-2.
Yeah, and it's definitely the better way to go. But I feel like if whoever lanes against the Razor does okay, and Enigma doesn't feed in the off lane, if they tri-lane against Faces Void, the Untamed, I think they can easily win this game. Because Void is, like, what is this dual lane? I remember when I said Sand King +1 is good no matter what. No, that doesn't work for Faces Void. This hero is real shit laner. Does not work very well. Like, it's a Burrow Strike follow-up into slow right clicks with a chance of bashing. Very small chance of bashing. It's just not good. So it initially looks like they're moving out for the tri-lane. I genuinely think this is the right time to tri-lane them. Just make sure you don't get stumped mid, and you will outfarm the crap out of your opponents.
I can't believe that this actually begins with him holding a Battle Fury. Is this indicative of what's to come? The Untamed on the Faceless Void. Noobish Noob going to be on the Sand King. Pony's going to be in mid with Razor. Asian Go player going to be the Jakiro, and Sleepy will be once again the Gyrocopter for the good old Dire Side of Workday. Their first Dire Side match of the day. THC is going to be on Rubik. Agent 00 Fuzzy on the Witch Doctor. Yi Ruru on the Luna. Looks like these three will be tri-laning defensively in the bottom. Mid lane, it was all yellow in the yellow trunks with the Medusa and the Morris. The Rock and Enigma hanging out up in top, closing it out for Team Microsoft. Series is tied 1-1, as you can tell by the fact that, well, no, it actually is not displaying that record up on there. Listen, that's my bad.
Bot rune. There we go.
Got
it. So, I like their idea to go high ground, but it was also bad because they have nobody that's tanky. It's walking in with a Rubik and Witch Doctor, and it's just very squishy heroes. Even Luna doesn't feel very comfortable fighting that early.
We have some cross-team tipping, and was that 3 bounty runes for Microsoft?
Yeah, because I guess so. Yeah, because they ran down their opponents. They killed them at the rune. It's very confusing now because they were on the same sides the first 2 games, and now they've swapped. So I'm going to be messed up all game. Nice, you swapped the overlay at least, so that's going to be accurate. But it's a dual lane versus a tri-lane here. They should be able to win this. They just need to focus their efforts, like on Void.
Uh-oh, the Untamed is going to have to do a little dart out. Chooses the right path, which is a little dicey given how long the cooldown is on Time Walk in the early game. Yeah, Noobish Noob just sort of loitering at the back. Don't know if there's going to be any sort of TPs through to help, but Ponies is being very aggressive, pushing forward against It Was All Yellow. Ponies really exploiting the power of this hero in the early laning stage. The Morris is doing what Enigma is wont to do, which is to kind of sit back and deny creeps with the W in order to pull the lane back.
Yep. Should be fine for him. As long as he doesn't get dived here, it's going to be all good. He guarantees farm and last hits, and they'll start the pull on the tri-lane. This is definitely one of those rare moments where tri-laning is good, just because Void is such a bad laner. He can't contest last hits very well. Every time that he comes up with a free expression,
oh no, 17 seconds till it's gone. It looks like nope. The last second Burrow strike from Noobish Noob is enough to allow the Untamed, the Frowny, the Sad, to escape with just a sliver of health.
I think he's picked himself the wrong hero here, and I think it's going to really cost him. The lane does get pushed a little bit too much, but the pull-through continues, so Agent Fuzzy is doing a great job. It's going to limit his experience gain. He is going to get 2 off of this, but who cares? It doesn't do anything. He's going to have like a 10% chance to bash, or maybe time dilation will do something, but they're not going to be... This is not going to be like them winning the lane in a big way. It's going to be like him trying to catch up and maybe slowly snowballing into some advantage, but the laning stage is not going to feel good for him.
Whereas on the opposite... The big question mark for me, looks like Time Walk is up, so this is guaranteed going to be an escape for Untamed. Donked. And just a lot of damage going in.
I thank you.
Big question to me is, how much can Ponies exploit this early game imbalance of the Razor versus the Medusa? Because, I mean, the more that Ponies can shut Medusa down, the harder time Medusa's going to have farming, getting back into the game, and she needs to spend a pretty damn long time in the mid-game just gobbling up farm in order to get enough items to be super threatening.
It definitely matters. You're certainly right there, but like as long as she's getting levels, it's going to be okay. And as soon as Razor starts rotating, then she's going to be able to catch up and really rapidly in farm. Because with just snake levels and split shots, she can always get last hits, whereas somebody like Void kind of needs a laning stage to get into a Battle Fury or a Mask of Madness to make his kills work, and if he doesn't have that, it's a lot harder.
Well, right now it looks like in this tri lane down here, Time Walk is up. Nope, no attempt at all to try to like just dive in close to tower, but this lane is pretty far pushed up. I feel like Agent 00 Fuzzy kind of needed to do this pull through in order to peel it back, because this is a lot of extra farm that the Untamed is going to be able to get pretty easily.
This is one of the big negatives of a tri lane. If you don't lane control correctly, then they're going to get more gold and levels than they should be getting. And they're just slightly behind their opponents in terms of experience, and not that far behind in last hits. So I'd say right now the tri lane's not quite succeeding. They needed to kill their opponents, and they haven't accomplished that yet. Just go on the Sand King or something is probably the guy to pressure. But it's hard with a Witch Doctor and a Rubik. Like, Witch Doctor's not really good at killing solo heroes, more or less, and Rubik is pretty good, but it's hard to get also Luna over to participate.
I mean, Yururu is being really diligent about just whacking away at the Untamed. Yep, even though this range is absolutely awful in the early game, doesn't matter. I mean, any amount of damage you can do is good, because if you can bait out a low-level Time Walk... I'm actually a little surprised that Time Walk was not researched as level 2. Researched, that's... he needs to research that at his Faceless Forge.
It's kind of important for him to get some lane stability, I feel like, and just resisting damage is probably not as important as something like a kill. Because if he gets a kill, it could really catapult him into full lane dominance, is probably what he's thinking here. Not that it's a great skill point. It's a 50% chance increase and slightly more damage. It's not great, but it'll make those trades slightly better when he slaps the Luna interface. Good rotation here. I don't think they should get the kill, though. This could be bad for Sand King.
A lot of the mana. Sand King immediately gets super low on health, but Razor's going to try to come back and protect everyone, but... barely doesn't get out in time. That was an extraordinarily quick answer with both the supports for Team Microsoft making their way to mid lane.
Yeah, it was really good. Well, they killed the Razor at least. That's going to make things worth it. Then Medusa gets a little bit of free farm here. She's got Aquila. She's queuing up. She's got boots coming, so she'll be a little faster at least. In the meantime, Luna's been making Faces Void's life hard. Oh, this is bad for him. He doesn't know Maledict though, but...
What? No Time Walk.
Yeah. And he's got no regen either, so he basically has to hit Shrine or go back to his... There is a Shrine, so he'll be okay, but every time they do that, it's going to give him a big advantage.
I mean, meanwhile, up in top lane, Jakiro has essentially provided Sleepy a completely free lane. Not Faceless, Void Enigma has spent most of the time just bouncing back and forth here in the jungle, trying to gobble up at least some experience.
I mean, he's doing completely fine. They killed the Sand King, but Enigma's almost 6 now, so I would say he's having a great time.
Yeah.
Sleepy is 5.5, so it seems like Enigma is doing more than fine his lane. He's got 23 last hits here.
Doesn't manage to get the stack off. But Yururu getting protected, getting a kill down in the bottom lane, currently in terms of net worth. Well, Sleepy's still farthest ahead of everyone in this game. Just with the assist kill.
Are fortified.
Sorry, wrong person selected. No assist kill on Sleepy. I lied to everyone. Sometimes when you cast, you just gotta lie and you gotta roll with it, Kevin. That's what it means to be a caster.
Just hope you did the lie right and nobody notices, right?
Yeah, it's not about the truth of the statement. It's about how compellingly I spoke when I lied. Uh-oh! Go player once again just slightly too far forward. The Morris really wants to use that black hole, but is so low on health. Noobish Noob always seems to be in position with this Sand King. Free farming down in the bottom lane with Luna. Oh my gosh, Noobish Noob never seems to be in position. Okay, Noobish Noob seems to...
They got no spells.
Pull out. Yep. Looks like the flat cannon to clear through. Maybe get a few extra last hits on these little Enigma-lings.
Those are Eidolons.
Yeah, I like Enigma-ling a little bit more. I think it's cuter. And Eidolon is just one of those words that I just don't use the word Eidolon in my day-to-day life. I couldn't tell you what it is.
Is that even a real word?
Only is,
Is that even a real word? Eidolon? Probably, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's totally a word. I've played and heard it only in games.
Okay.
So.
There's only so many cool words, right?
Yeah.
Trying to get a gank off here. Only level 1 Burrow Strike on Sand King. I kind of wish he would be in his lane a little bit more, trying to get levels. Like, even him rotating to Burrow Strike the Luna would be hugely impactful, because that would give Faceless Void time to right-click 5 times and get no bashes.
Yeah.
Which, might swing things around.
Dude, with the Morbid Mask that's currently up for Yururu, he's just going to slowly last hit his way back to full health.
I mean, he's basically aiming to get kills with Chronosphere. That's his only salvation here.
Agent 00 Fuzzy manages to pick off the ward, and it looks like a huge dive in. Oh, Black Hole! Black Hole doesn't really last very long, and it looks like Go player is just going to try to turn around. Great body blocking by THC. Oh, no, you can't go anywhere. You can go wherever you want.
He just easily survived, and I really thought something was going to happen there, but Jakiro lowering the attack speed of everybody, and just very tanky hero.
Yeah.
Okay.
Jakiro's so fun to play early game. Right now, Yururu still just kind of farming all alone. In terms of last hits, Yururu is leading 46 last hits, 20 denies.
It's huge. Now he's completely gap closed. Void is essentially lost his lane. It looked like he might be able to stabilize, but in all this 1v1 time, Luna's just always going to trade better. She has a nuke that she can use. Anytime that he uses Time Walk, she knows it's time to trade hits, and he's going to have to use a salve. Like, yeah, Void just can't stabilize the regen as well as Luna is going to be able to. Mask of Death didn't do enough. So now we have a jungling offlane here. This is basically problem time. This is like the thing that was figured out as this does not work in the pro scene based on how much experience you get from denies. Luna's gonna super catapult right now, and Untamed's only hope is hitting 6 and getting a Mask of Mana Chronosphere kill repeatedly until he catches back up in this game. That's his salvation.
XP gain from deny? Is it 50%, 70%?
You get 25%. So if you and me are laning against each other and I get a deny, then I get the same experience as you do. And 50% of the experience is just gone forever. So getting into deny is extremely powerful.
Yeah.
So even with Void gone, the Luna is basically going to get like 25, basically 25% more experience than she should, assuming she gets every deny and all of the experience from her creep. So it's a huge catapult.
So at this point, I mean, we can just watch Yururu farm all day. And this is much calmer of an early game than we're used to between these two teams. Mm-hmm. Just a lot of time being spent in the jungle. The most active lane has been the top. Go player and Noobish Noob trying to set up kills here with Sleepy. Is Black Hole up? Nope, 80 seconds still left. So Noobish Noob going to try to swing around. It's kind of a little bit far forward. Gets the burrow strike off there, but I think this lift on Noobish Noob might put him a little bit in trouble. No, immediately Sleepy calls down. There's a warp in. Uh-oh, Yururu on the other side of the map managed to get a pick off on Faceless Void warp in. From it was all yellow, but Sleepy manages to get a kill and is going to go hide away.
Now,
Yururu is just killing the ponies. I'm going to try to come in here with a haste rune.
No Midnight Pulse either, so you can't break the trees. And successful dive for the dragon. You know what's actually making a big difference is they do rotate for the Luna. What's making a big difference is the attack speed slow from Jakiro between Dual Breath and Liquid Fire. It's the support duo of the Witch Doctor and the Rubik. They are very right click focused actually. If you lower and Enigma as well, lower the attack speed of all these guys, and they just don't have any damage. It's making a big difference in some of these kills they should get.
Yeah, gosh, dude, haste and static link for ponies, that is so unfair on this hero. Every single time he manages to get a haste. And Pony smartly had that bottled for a while. We see him also getting the Arcane Rune, being able to, or indicating that he sort of preserved that in the bottle for a good opportunity. And Yururu is the right person to try to take out, man. Untamed is taking a ton of pain, not actually going for the Time Walk, by favoring getting the bash. Looks like the Untamed is hoping to just farm his way back into the game, or just maybe get enough damage with one kill.
Yeah, I mean, he's almost got the Mask of Menace. So 25 pulled away.
Wow, really nice ice path. Just so much tankiness on it. Was all yellow, but now it looks like... Oh, what a black hole! At almost no health, Dolores manages to get a kill. Okay, Ponies is down. Go player dies. Everyone is so low health. Wow, what a play from Agent 00 Fuzzy, managing to just clean up right at the very end, help make that exchange a little bit more in their favor. With the Enigma gone, I mean, that does kind of stink a little bit, but Enigma right now, almost to blink, actually having a pretty damn great game.
Yeah, it's wrong item build. Most Enigmas do go Helm of the Dominator right now, so he should have some of these like transitionary items, but the Black Hole is solid, and a nice rotation from Witch Doctor to clean up the rest of it. Ultimately not bad. They lost the mid tower though, not the best situation to be in, but Medusa's done okay. She's gotten 40 last hits compared to the 50 of the Razor, so I'd say considering the matchup disadvantage, I think it's been okay.
Well,
maybe
an attempted dive in on the Medusa, but Noobish has to run away. There's the stolen burrow strike, as you were talking about earlier. Here's the lift. This is a really bad situation. Call down manages to allow the escape, but I mean, that's not exactly how you want to use your ultimate to just try to keep an ally alive. Right now, it looks like Yururu is getting dippity dove down on.
It's another missed kill as well. He could have used Mango to use a Fade Bolt to guarantee the kill with Maledict, but missed opportunity there. As long as they don't get the Chronosphere off on the Luna, I think Luna's going to be happy, but she can't step out the creep wave and last it. Are there any magic wands in this game, Sean. Okay, there's some magic sticks on the Dire team, but the Radiant team is severely lacking in magic. There's one magic stick on their whole team. What is going on? There's a Medusa.
Oh
you get a
my
magic
god.
stick. You get a magic wand on this hero because like using it is like actually 1,000 HP. Come on, guys.
Uh-oh. Here's the dive in on. There's the ultimate. It's going to deal some damage, but I mean, there's just so much output between Ponies, Untamed, and Go Player. Luna falls, and this is a pretty critical hero to keep alive on the side of Team Workday.
Did you see what Shuckter's position? He was so far to the right. He's like, please don't catch me in this chrono, but it still landed.
Yeah.
If he would have been able to be on the outside, just barely throw the cask out, that could have turned things around maybe. But what normally happens in the pro scene, rather than like Luna play passively in these moments, like, oh, they're trying to gank me down here. What you do is you just TP to the off lane and you push the enemy tower, because it's easier for you to be aggressive on their tower than it is for you to be defensive when they're being aggressive against you as a hero like Luna, because you're more damage than defense. So if he just would have gone to the off lane, turned that into a gank rotation that gets a kill, that pushes a tower, everything would have been better. But on the bright side, the Dire team doesn't get the tower out of it as well because of their slightly inefficient rotation and how much time they spent on this.
So the Morris is going once again for this really greedy Hand of Midas.
Yeah, this
Very
is
similar sort of playstyle.
This is an out-of-date build. This one's fun, and it's seen as good, but the Helm of the Dominator is just so good right now because you get an extra creep, so you get an extra disable, makes all of your Eidolons attack faster, regen, all these good things.
Another big dive down on Yiruru. Turns around to try to get some damage off, but currently is at minus 161, almost 200 down. Oh my gosh, Pony's dealing a ridiculous amount of damage now. Agent 00 Fuzzy's going to try to run away, but is moving so much slower than Pony's here. Pony's is low on life, but I think Agent 00 Fuzzy's going to be low on options. Manages to get out in time. Looks like Sleepy is finally going to get a kill on this tower. He's been trying to push again and again and again. Bottom tower's now under big threat.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Team
attack.
Microsoft.
They're owning right now. They're owning really hard. Pressuring the towers. They got the
Or you mean
offlane
Team
tower.
Workday's owning right now?
Oh, that is Workday. You're right, actually. Yeah, Microsoft. They're close to stabilizing, but they're just making mistakes. Like I said, Luna needs to go somewhere else in transition. You don't have to keep going back to your lane, guys. Like there are other lanes in the game that you can profit from. But he's never turned this into a kill. It's so easy. There's an Enigma Black Hole plus Eclipse, somebody dies, or even Black Hole with your right click, somebody dies. But it's not happening. And Gyro's going to get a super fast Ags this game and just catapult into lane stability. Even
right now, Yiruru is just pulling back to farm in the jungle. Bottom tower's going to go down. The Untamed just has Power Treads and Mask of Madness. Not a lot of progress made towards a Battle Fury, even if that is the choice for the
Look
Untamed.
at the top lane right now. Like, Enigma just got here, and you've got all of these heroes on Microsoft's side jungling because they don't know what to do right now. What you need to do is push the lane and take the tower. There's 3 heroes bottom. The typical Workday 5-man grouping. Just go do something else.
Untamed has the Chronosphere goes down.
Good chrono.
The counter chrono. Look at that THC with the answer. It looks like the Eclipse is going to go down, but I think Yiruru is immediately going to die. There is just way too much damage here, but the counter black hole from Morris. I don't even know how many are going to get out, if any are even going to die. Maledict, great death ward. It looks like the Untamed has been tamed. Triple kill down in the bottom lane. Once again, Ponies just slurping, sucking out absolutely every last bit of damage from Medusa, running away as a very ripped but unsuccessful Razor.
I think Razor's playing fantastic this game. The phase Aquila drum build with the HP health perk, almost nobody gets that one, but it's allowed him to just go into these fights and not worry too much about the damage types. Obviously, THC saving that entire engagement. I was about to say that, like, Luna is not the hero you want to do this defensive style with. You want like a Shadow Demon backing him up or something. But by stealing Chrono, canceling the Epicenter, gives him time to get the follow-up. If the Void just didn't get lucky with all the bashes, then Luna might have been able to escape there.
I mean, that was an incredible turnaround by THC and the Morris. I mean, anytime your bubble gets stolen and then it's counter bubble.
It actually shouldn't happen. He's got time dilation. He should have been able to protect that, but he wasn't anticipating the Rubik sitting behind, so it's actually quite easy because it's a very fast cast time. As soon as you chrono, you got a cast time dilation. If he does that, Luna dies easily. They possibly get the Rubik as well, and none of their heroes actually go down.
See, Ruru's finally getting over to the top lane side. Just barely now has enough for Yasha, looking relatively low on farm for this stage of the game. 6.5k at 17 minutes. Oof. Right now, Razor and Gyro are doing a good job, just staying ahead and farm.
Yeah, they're doing fine. I actually wish that the Luna would go Dragonlance instead. They might see Dusa die here. No ulti for 1 second. probably going to be too much damage. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, she started to scream and immediately popped. I feel like Gyrocopter at this stage in the game, man, that's a pretty quick Aghanim Scepter, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Sleepy at this stage in the game just deals such a ridiculous amount of damage. I mean, with the Aghanim Scepter out, that's already just a lot of basic right-click damage, but just Rocket Barrage early game, I think, is just so insanely, stupidly powerful.
Yeah, 660 magic. So if it's just him and Medusa, it's going to cut right through him. And just raw damage is the best way to beat Medusa's shield anyways. In fact, Medusa is going for a Maelstrom. This is the wrong move. It's a big item issue here. For It Was All Yellow. I think he likes AoE a little bit too much. And the thing is, Medusa already has it. With a Mask of Madness and a split shot. That should be enough. But so Workday able to get some lane control here. And finally faces Void's at a position where he feels like he's going to scale fine into the late game as long as he's efficient with his creep hitting.
Alright, so now it looks like, Yirudo on Team Microsoft is kind of in a dangerous position, and everyone seems to be trying to close in on this. The Untamed with the Soul Read.
He scans him.
Oh!
Got him. Huge play.
What a play. What a move, dude. Untamed the Hunter, man, just to track down and take him out. The Morris trying to do... Ooh! Untamed tips Yirudo. The Untamed is actually kind of a dick. Oh my god.
They warned us in the chat, man. They warned us. He was
warned.
A bit of a jerk, but
oh my gosh, he's playing from New Zealand. You know, he had to get up early. It's the least that we can come in and do.
He's doing a great job, though. He's basically guaranteeing that his team is going to scale. They basically shut down the Luna because Luna kept going back to her own lane instead of moving around the map and setting tempo of their own. It's a pretty huge problem. And surprisingly, the Void worked out. It shouldn't have worked out, but it has worked out due to Luna staying in lane.
Workday is doing a pretty remarkable job just continuing to coordinate and push down these objectives, but have they gone a little too far? Ponies, I think, is way too caught out. The tower is down, though, and Untamed is pretty yoked at this point in time. It was all yellow trying to swing it. Black hole! 3-man black hole, the snakes go down. Goodbye, team. It was all yellow. The Morris pulls it off again, letting everyone know what it feels like to just kind of sit down and relax for 5 seconds. It feels a lot like a comeback.
Oh man, he got Midnight Pulse down too, so that was just an insane amount of damage.
So much damage, and you know what? No tips for anyone. I think they're on tip cooldown.
I think they're just like, hey, we were stomping this game. We felt overly confident because they used their abilities and it didn't really do anything. And they were like, oh, let's get more kills. So walk right into the black hole. And with the Midas, he's going to be peaking level 15 soon, which means that pretty soon here it's going to be even lower cooldown on Black King Bar. They still haven't touched the enemy offlane tier 1. It's a damn shame. There's not a lot of Microsoft has a huge how they should play Dota strategically problem, but individually they seem to be the better players.
Oh my gosh, one more kill goes down, immediately the time lock, the ice path, great coordination from Workday. I mean, Workday has just had some really excellent plays. Everything keeps getting turned back around by these great Morris black holes, but I mean, at this point in time, every single tier 1 is still up. I mean, I'll still count this as up, even though it's about close to dead. Yiruru is going to get dove on again, right in the middle of, still not even able to quite finish farming the Ancients. I mean, Ponies is going to get a chance to clean these up.
And skipping the Dragonlance is actually such a big mistake this game. I mean, he's against a Faceless Void. There's going to be a Chronosphere. It gives you the raw HP and a little bit of agility. It's not a great item, but considering that it's going to make him take less damage from neutrals and hit creep waves easier, I think it's definitely the better move here.
Oh my gosh, poor Witch Doctor. Witch Doctors in this series have never been treated very kindly. Agent 00 Fuzzy throws the cask out. No one nearby. No bounces. It was all yellow. Is on the retreat, slowly slithering her way back to safety. And I gotta say, I really feel like Microsoft is just looking to say, hey, how can we make this game go on longer? It was all yellow, just wants to get items. Luna's just trying to farm and get items. But I don't know how much Workday is going to allow that, man. They're just continuing to bomb in there. Oh my gosh, immediately.
Again.
Oh, the counter bubble! I mean, not quite enough to save, but Luna managed to TP back. Goodbye, supports. I think Go Player is going to take a trip back to the fountain. Sleepy throws down. I don't know if this is a good re-engagement by Workday. They are all really low on health. Oh, the charitable donations continue. Workday. Oh, helping bring everyone.
They had magic wands. They wouldn't have even been close. I can't believe they turned back into that.
You're going to need to let this go, Kevin. They don't have wands. It's never going to happen.
It's probably too late now.
Oh man, Workday. I think they were actually feeling a little overambitious. They were feeling really good. I think the engagement started off well, but the fact that it was chrono and then not followed by a time lock to avoid the counter bubbling from THC, man. Counter bubbles. It's the way to do it.
I mean, if he just presses time dilation, none of this happens.
Oh, I keep saying time lock. Yes, time dilation.
He also
Oh,
time
no,
locked.
no
That's
way.
fine.
No
He's
way.
not gonna die. It takes a lot of work here.
His little lobster claws. I mean, they might be
now-
poisonous, but
And
they'll
And now
do a lot of
Medusa's
damage.
gotten over the hump of having 2,700 of her first, like, 3K gold spent on a Maelstrom.
Yeah.
Now
Dire's
she's
middle
getting
tower
survivability
has
items,
been
and now
denied.
their opportunity to burst her is not going to be there.
Yeah.
Such a good chrono, though. I mean, THE has definitely been holding the game together. Him and the Enigma, I guess you could argue, really doing a good job making sure that they can actually win this game.
Looks like level 15 talent, 15% cooldown reduction for the Morris. So important for Enigma, just being able to black hole as often as possible. And I really feel like this is a big power spike for Morris specifically, because he has been ultra clutch about nailing those black holes again and again.
And lower
Ponies
Midas
is-
cooldown, more
Yeah.
levels. It'll just all cascade.
I love that Ponies is going for an Aghanim Scepter, just a super strong pushing item. Just, the first time I saw an Aghanim Scepter on a Razor, I was blown away at how quickly those buildings did blow up. Sleepy. Also, Aghanim has blown things up with the right-click build. Not quite at the Black King bar, still needs to get flown out, but, I mean, Workday has been
Radiant's
coordinating
top tower is
brilliantly,
under
just
attack.
pushing in lanes, and then just taking objectives
Dire's
over and
bottom
over
tower
again.
is
Black
under
Hole is
attack.
up. And I
The
think they
five-man
might
group.
not take this opportunity. I think they're actually just going to pull back.
Radiant's top tower.
They don't
has
want to
fallen.
fight on the even ground here. It's going to be really dangerous. If they want to wait till their opponents have to go high ground, because it'll make it so much easier to land black holes. But if they have to cross this little chasm between their base and their base, and their tier 2, and then try to find an engagement, it would just be way too hard. Make them group up,
Yeah.
get the ideal fights, and hopefully you also don't get chronoed.
Look at the Microsoft Bane and Marana gangs. There's Bane with glasses,
Dire's
Marana with
bottom tower
glasses.
is under
It's the
attack.
best. It's the best logo. Sorry, Workday. I mean, your company logo is very just like well done as a logo, but you didn't use MS Paint to make yours, so
It's true.
got to be critical of that. God, it's so good. It's just amazing. Look at that.
Does look nice. They've got
Alright,
great
so-
ward vision on the Dire team as well. They're basically just looking to punish wherever
Yeah.
Luna is farming, which should probably be lanes.
Sentries all over the place. I mean, at this point in time, it looks like they're just pulling back, waiting for a gank. And is it going to be the Chrono does miss
Zoning Chrono.
everybody, every single
Oh,
person.
and he got stolen.
It got stolen, and so does that mean there's going to be the counter chrono? Is
yeah.
it going to be an
Better
unbelievable counter chrono? That's the third time, and black hole! Oh my God, that's so sick! Sleepy's marching forward, BKB's up, but it's physical damage on the Death Ward just gets sniped apart. Noobish Noob just tried to do something and died. It is a 5-0. Oh my gosh!
Oh man, if he used time dilation that fight, but
Oh my
I
God!
mean, number 1, mediocre chrono, we'll call it, and number 2, stolen again, and that was a late steal. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure that was a late steal.
That was
good
a
black hole. though.
very,
Dire's middle
very
tower
nice
is
counter
under
black
attack.
hole. I mean, dude, Workday
Guaranteed
got
kills.
cleaned up like the villain's sidekick in the anime. It was
Dire's
just
middle
not even
tower has
close.
fallen.
But the problem is for Workday, Workday is the final boss, right? There's no
Dire's
infinite
middle
power
tower
level
is
behind
under
to
attack.
help get this anime to
Dire's
season
structures
13,
are
Kevin.
fortified.
That was just that.
It's looking really bad for Workday now because the speed at which Medusa and Luna are going to farm is really above them.
Uh-oh. Untamed's going to be a little bit far forward. Needs to time lock out of there, but she just keeps getting donked by the cast. It looks like Morris is going to be caught out.
Statically?
Looks like no, not even going to need it. A lot of BKBs down. I'm hearing a lot of donks going down. It was all yellow. Still just trying to sprint away. Completely out of mana, which means
Blessings
a
upon
little
us
bit low
all.
on
Second
HP.
is here.
Really? Oh my gosh, Ponies is going to get the static link on. It was all yellow.
Yeah, they'll catch him. I think this is a kill. Do they have a shrine? They do. Oh, okay. TP support.
Oh.
Yeah, he's
Ponies is done. Ponies is done. Ponies went a little bit too deep. The rest of the team's coming up. There's the screech from It Was All Yellow. BKB goes down, but the whole team is stunned. And no! See you later. Buyback from Luna. She TPs in and then un-TPs. Oh my God, this game is becoming just as chaotic as game number 2. I love the AHGL, Kevin.
That was 1,000 gold for Luna to buy back in that moment, and it looked kind
Dire's
of good
top
as
tower
a
is
maybe we
under
can turn this
attack.
because we killed the Razor, but finally the rest of the team got there. And there was a lot of heroes that kind of just got stomped in the fight 2 fights ago, but all their
Yeah.
cooldowns are back up, and they were ready to dive, and they're going to be able to go high ground for a little bit here.
I mean, this is incredible. This is
Black hole in 15. So they've got to just hold this off for a bit, maybe look for an opening.
10 seconds. Sleepy's the one hitting on the tower. It's going to be a little difficult. Range is relatively low. No Dragon Lance or any such thing on Sleepy, so he has to get very, very close. So very cautious play coming out from Microsoft. Everyone on Workday's just, gently kind of hanging out up in the South Jungle.
They've still got to be really worried about getting out farmed, especially because Void, he went for a ganking snowball build, Mask of Mana, Shadow Blade. I think this is the right way to do things for sure, but because he doesn't have a Battle Fear, he's not going to be able to cascade as fast. The Razor is going for when basically early fighting items, and he's not going to snowball as fast. He also doesn't have the agility perk, among other things. It's basically all on Gyro's back, and maybe them taking good team fights. So it's definitely a scary game going long term for Workday.
So it looks like this is Time Walk that's been picked up. Time Walk from THC, which could be pretty potent to be able to Time Walk in Snatch and then throw down a bubble or throw down a Burrow Strike, some such thing. Agent 00 Fuzzy is just crazy low on farm at this point in time. Still not at the level 15, 120 GPM talent. Microsoft kind of is forced to play really close together at this stage in the game. And, I mean, you can just feel that Luna and Medusa want to spread out on the map and just start farming it up. But, I mean, this every single time that Medusa or Luna is a little bit far up, I mean, it seems like Workday is just coordinating brilliantly. But it's again, this theme that we've been seeing in the series where it gets to some point in the game where things finally calm down a little bit. And you know what happens? Players just kind of spread out and jump. Yeah. And I really think this is way better for Microsoft than it is for Workday.
Workday's doing a much better job pushing lanes, though, than they had in previous games. If you look at where the lanes are right now, they're all in great spots. Sand King is pushing out the bot lane. He's safe to do this because he's a support. He's going to be able to get himself a lot of farm this way. And in the meantime, all of his heroes that actually jungle well, like Gyrocopter, or Faces Void, or maybe even Razor, they can just hit neutral creeps and accelerate their overall gold gain. And as long as he pushes lanes while he does this, it's totally fine for them.
Yeah. Medusa's pushing up in top lane. Luna's staying very conservatively placed in the middle of the map. Gyrocopter still has #1 net worth, but I mean the Faceless is not close to top.
They're going to find Medusa maybe here. He's going to go for the bounty run first.
I'll take your tribute.
They're one spot. Oh, I see. Jakiro's down.
Morris currently has enough gold for
This is a dead Jakiro.
Wow, wow.
He was trying to ward. He has fine to do. The wave was relatively pushed up, but I think they caught him when they were warding as well.
I mean, Workday, it's not that they can't win late, it's just that they don't quite have the farming capability set up to be able to, get a super swollen Faceless Void, to be able to get a super swollen
With that said, though, the Microsoft team is playing a little bit defensive in how they're moving around the map. They're constantly near each other. And their supports also can't get farm very fast. Both Rubik and Witch Doctor are sort of kill reliant to get farm. Whereas Sand King can just hit creeps easily. And the other support, Jakiro, can do the same thing. So it's kind of offset, I guess, by the two supports. Look at Sand King. He's got 2.5k gold more than the Rubik does, and this isn't going to slow down. So in some ways, they're across the board, they're a little bit better at farming on Workday. And I think they're just moving better. I think the other reason that Microsoft is playing scared and how they move is because of the Shadow Blade on Faceless Void. Sometimes just knowing that he's there and he could chrono you is enough for them to play way too safe.
So it looks like Faceless Void is going to lead with the Shadow Blade, and they're not quite going to do the smoke gank. I mean, it's in the backpack. I mean, maybe they just clear this wave out and then do it. Jakiro is way alone right now, and Yuru might recognize, nope, just going to push the lane back out comfortably. And given that this game is slowing down a bit, I'd like to give a shout out and thanks to all the StarCraft 2 players who are currently been hanging out for about an hour, likely an hour and 15 minutes or so, as we wait for the AHGL Grand Finals of StarCraft 2 to start directly after this. Thanks for your patience, dudes. Hope you're tuned in.
Well, they just sprinted in the Roche pit with smoke. Went for a high ground scan. They've got Sand King on the outside as well. This is... I mean, Void is going to be really low HP, is the huge negative here, obviously, if there is a fight, but it doesn't look like Microsoft's going to be aware.
Well, hey, look at this, he's got a wand!
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
500 gold till Razor Ags now, too.
Alright. Looks like minus 25% cooldown on the call down again.
Huge mistake. Massive, huge mistake. This is no way worth it. You don't need it to farm because you have an Axe and you have flat cannon and you have rocket barrage.
Dire's bottom
You
tower
need
is
movement
under
speed to
attack.
dodge things and to chase opponents and position your hero properly. This is a big mistake. I don't
Medusa
know.
and Luna kind of stepping over each other's farms. Oh, this is a cute ward placement. Nice.
Yeah,
Spotted
the
just
one
a
on the
little bit
bottom
there. Yeah.
That was when they were thinking about going high ground here. They're going to spot the Medusa, though. After a short separation, I don't think they realize.
Boy, this is
A lot of
a
split
very
farming.
relaxing, calming game right now. I feel like this stage of the game should like play at the spa in the waiting lobby. If people are just looking for something zen to tune out to, you know?
These ones are fun to play too, at least for me, because I like pushing lanes all the time. So if I'm like a Sanking or a Jakiro, I just like, all right, where's the next lane to push? And I just head over there,
You
do a
love
little
pushing
D-warding on
lanes,
the way
man.
maybe, and push the lane.
I'm
Boom,
gonna
I get
get you like a
gold.
pushed lane plushie for your birthday or something like that. So that way you can snuggle with a pushed lane in case you're traveling.
What is that? What does that
Feeling
look
lonely.
like?
Well, it would be sort of a rectangular prism-shaped plushie with creeps all the way at one end. And of course, I would put a
Okay.
name tag on you that labels you as dire side, because that would be the side that's pushed in, you know.
Yeah, of course. I think that sounds visually easy to understand.
Yeah.
Ugh, call down perk. Ugh.
Oh, I know. It grosses you out.
Disgusting. It's
Listen, at least
disgusting.
we're seeing some magic wands here. Uh-oh. It's like Faceless Void. I don't know how much I like this. There's the BKB. Instant answer, and it looks like THC gets caught in the bubble, and Luna is blowing up so fast, the Untamed actually manages to get the kill. BKB is down. It was all yellow. Darts into the fray. Black hole! And it looks like it was all yellow. It's just cleaning up. Gyrocopter takes so much damage and falls. Everyone is just getting annihilated by this split shot. It was all yellow. Has to retreat, though. That health is just
call down
getting
perk.
low, getting low, getting low. There's the call down perk coming in again. Burrow Strike manages to take down the Medusa, get her stunned, but she's still managing to stay alive. Sleepy is picking him off again and again and again. It looks like it was all yellow. Is going to have to pull the retreat. Double buyback from Witch Doctor and Rubik. Faceless Void buys back. Everyone buys back. No one wants to be dead. That's boring. In they come. The Untamed's coming in. He doesn't have a Chronosphere, but oh my god, he's used the Shadow Blade. Invisibility is invincibility.
I think they want to take a fight because they know Black Hole's on cooldown now. I mean, their easiest solution is to take a good fight or to kill Enigma first, but
Yeah.
it was a good turnaround. I mean, Luna should have popped BKB, simply put, as soon as the Void does, because it would at least stop the magic damage coming from Void with bashes and things, but maybe a hard call to make, considering it felt like a good fight with them initiated on Void there. But
Indeed. Indeed.
Rubik stole the Ice Path as well, so he's got to worry about him as well right now.
Yeah.
Very good skill.
Super powerful disable. I mean, the series right now is tied 1-1. Currently, Workday is playing for Doctors Without Borders. Microsoft playing for Child's Play. Winning team will get $2,000 to the charity of their choosing. If any of you are interested in having your team in the next Dota 2 AHGL, that will be in the spring 2019, so you have plenty of time to watch the International this year. Copy all the strats and have them completely thrown out the window in patches right before the season registration begins in December.
Well, Sleepy has queued up Aeon Disc. John, I think I'm going to throw up. The
Oh my
only
God.
way this is good is if he gets, like, Enigma Black Hold with Midnight Pulse when he's not ready for it.
Wait,
And
can
almost-
you Aeon Disc through Black Hole?
I mean, if it's based on health. So if his health is lowered past the threshold, it will be queued, it will be used, and then he won't take damage for 2.5 seconds. So in those circumstances, yes, it would be very good against Black Hole, but I am not sold.
Oh.
Dire's bottom tower is
Well,
under attack.
once upon a time, there was a Medusa, and no
Dire's
more.
bottom tower has fallen.
Using a lot of the big guns to take down the Medusa, but I mean, consistently in the fights, Microsoft has really kind of needed both the Luna damage and the Medusa damage. Where, you know, when Yi Ruru died earlier on in that fight, Medusa was the one that was able to come in and really start turning things back around. So, small gold advantage right now for Team Workday. But this is the big opportunity for them to actually take an objective, maybe even take down this bottom set of racks while Medusa is dead.
And one of the things that they are really lacking on Microsoft's side is they don't have a very good initiator. It's like it pretty much would have to be like Rubik, but Rubik is not a great initiator. He'd like to counter initiate a little bit more in most cases because he's a little bit squishy on the back line. Whereas if you have a Void in the front line with a Shadow Blade who can drop Chrono and he has a BKB, things are going to go okay as long as the Enigma doesn't catch everybody in his black holes.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is where you have to be so careful if you're Workday. Any amount of clustering in the Morris is on it, dude. Even these little retreats where they just clump up a little bit. Oh, the Morris just wants to black hole so bad. I can see him clenching his teeth, vibrating with intensity, big veins popping out all over his neck and forehead. Nice ice path from THC, just trying to delay things a little bit. Yururu just poking with some bolts from the heavens. Sleepy. Uh-oh. He's going to be a stun on Yururu. Not going to waste a BKB. Just the tower falling. It looks like in a very tame display of composure. We're going to see Workday pull back and try to take out the good old Shrine.
So it was a good move. It was very dangerous for them to go high ground there. Like, none of their cores really have good sustain. They don't have regen, really. Razor has no regen to his name. Gyrocopter has pretty much no regen. It's just the one urn that they have. So it's hard for them to stick around and keep pushing. But, like, eventually their opponents are going to find an opportunity to initiate and probably burst somebody down. If that happens before they get BKB off, it's going to be a bad time.
Yeah.
So Razor opting for the armor perk, I think, is a pretty huge mistake. The Eye of the Storm. If you have Ags, you need to get the Eye of the Storm strike interval, I think. Yeah. Because it's a static cooldown reduction rather than a percentage. So if you get more and more, it becomes better every time. Yeah. I think the damage is massive. It's something I've calculated before. It's something like 200 physical DPS or something, not counting the armor reduction or something. If you get Ags and that perk, I think he should have just maybe committed to maybe a plate mail a little earlier. But it's not. It's kind of a small thing.
Yeah, we're about to have our third game just broach the 40-minute mark. Long and calm at this point.
GPM perk for Asian Go player too. So I think he's playing Jakiro really well. I think this is the. I don't know if he was the Witch Doctor from the previous game or not.
Yeah, Go player I think was the Witch Doctor.
He's playing this so much better. Witch Doctor is definitely a little bit of a hero that has set tempo, but this guy, he just walks around and casts spells, and he can sit at the back of fighting and cast ice paths.
Yeah,
that's great. Faces Void finishing his Monkey King bar, which will work against any butterflies that his enemy cores end up picking up. Medusa is currently queuing up hers. Luna also queuing one up. I think they need to recognize this maybe and just go a different item.
Yeah.
Might be worth... he's still got the Aeon disc. That's not the item, man.
Oh my gosh, it's Aeon Sleepy. Here he goes, man.
He could have just bought a Satanic. It's obviously a lot more money by 2,000 gold, but I think a Satanic just works better.
Because he's still going to attack. If Sleepy manages to turn a fight around via Aeon Disc, I'm never going to let you live it down, man. Aeon Disc is going to be the new meta, the AHGL meta. It was all yellow, almost at level 25.
The status resistance doesn't even help. Like against like Black Hole, it's I don't know. It's so specific, and it's not controllable enough for it to be worthwhile, in my opinion. He should just go like Satanic Daedalus. That way, if he's Black Hole, he's just instantly like pinging for tons of damage and lifesteal. I think that's the better move, in my opinion.
Yeah, this looks like a big Roshan fight coming up. Very big spread on everyone. Untamed looking for an opportunity. Yururu is a little bit far forward. It looks like Untamed might try to go for it with the vision gain. Oh, there's the double black hole. Can't find the right one. It's not that one. It looks like, is THC going to manage to get this? There's the black hole, but still the Luna falls, and this is a critical moment right now. THC does manage to get the counter black hole. And immediately Medusa's coming in from behind, and oh, there's the Luna buyback. Just starts blowing people apart. Aeon Disc.
Literally useless.
Literally did not do anything, but boy, he sure has it. And at this point, Workday is in a pickle. They have 4 dead, didn't manage to even pick off 1. THC loves playing Faceless Void as Rubik this game. There are so many black holes that have gone down. Excuse me, so many chronospheres that have gone down for THC all game long. Uh-oh.
Unprotected.
THC, he tips the Untamed.
That's deserved, dude. He hasn't protected. If that chronosphere doesn't come back out, there's no way they lose that fight. But he gave them the easiest ever, like, black hole into chronosphere. That's like 8 seconds to disable. Gyro didn't have a Satanic either. They could get a turn here, though.
This is a very big... Nope, looks like Sand King manages to fall. Another huge black hole! The Morris has a refresher orb. When the hell did that happen?
Just picked it up. He hasn't bought a new item in a while.
This might be it. Luna, still alive. Has the gem. And Luna in a base with no enemies. It's a bad time for that base. Luna destroys things at such an extraordinary pace. Microsoft got picked off by Workday in Game 2, but now playing very strong, pushing back. Yururu at the farms all game long. Medusa, for the first time this game, is #1 in net worth. Midnight Pulse goes down. That just deals an obscene amount of damage in late game.
Radiant's bottom barracks are under
I
attack.
mean, in the meantime, their top tower is
Dire's
just now.
top
Okay,
tower
are
is
they
under
going to defend
attack.
2x? There's no way that they should have 2x defended. This is really poorly played by Microsoft, in my opinion. Like, they just won that fight. There's 3 dead heroes, and they all just spread out into different things. Medusa sat mid killing creeps. Luna goes top to push up the... If they just all go top, that's a dead tower minimum. Probably the Rax as well.
Well, now at this point, it's just one lane of racks down. There were a lot of buybacks that happened during that fight. Currently in the buyback status, Medusa doesn't have it, Gyro doesn't have it, Luna doesn't have it. Just really the Enigma is the only potent player that still has a buyback available. Yeah, I mean, sure, the supports do, but this is a pretty tense moment. Right now, Medusa is almost able to buy back. She needs about 500 GPs. That's gold points.
Oh.
Yeah.
Thinking still pushing out top. Gyro's queuing up a Rapier without a Satanic, of course, because he bought an Aeon Disc. And Void is...
Gotta let it go, man. The Aeon Disc. The Aeon Disc, it's a good item, man.
If he just got a movement speed and a Satanic, no criticism. That's it. These like messing up talent trees like this, I think is a huge issue, considering how many games there are to watch, and the fact that no Gyro has skipped the movement speed perk for literally like as long as this perk has been in the game.
Well, I don't know. Maybe at this point, Ice Frog is going to be like, this is fair and balanced, man. We can keep that minus 25% cooldown.
It's just... It's a good ultimate, but it is not... If you could like get global cooldown with cooldown reduction and not pass up 45 movement speed, sure. I'm okay with you dodging homing missile charges sometimes. But there's no way you pass up 45 movement speed. There's just no way. It's so important for position.
Untamed. He does it. He has the Arcane. It looks like all the BKBs getting used. Ponies is the one to lead in right now. But the damage output from Luna is so stupidly high. Oh, the complete whip! Oh my god, into the Chrono. And is he going to be able to steal another black hole? The Morris is just annihilating everyone. And now Faceless Void is done. Ponies is running away. Ponies is running away. It's a good game. Is it a good game?
Use your butterfly.
Just get the...
Press the butterfly.
Press the button. He's not pressing it. He's refusing the button.
Okay.
Oh, there it is. Yiruru with the slam down from heaven. Is this good game? I saw a good game called, but I don't yet see...
They keep typing it. They keep typing it.
Exploding. Good game. There's the good game well played. Oh, that's the good game well played from the team that's currently winning.
Team!
No, that's it! GG! Team Microsoft! Bane and Mirana Gangs has done it! They have successfully won the video game that was being played today, Kevin. The game of Dota 2. Team Microsoft successfully wins. Oh my gosh, Child's Play, once again, their charity. An absolutely amazing charity. $2,000 will be going to them courtesy of MSFT.
I know you had chat muted, but the Radiant Fuzzy wrote tamed in all chat when they called GG
my God.
Against the Untamed. It was
Brutality.
Incredible. And the best part is that during that whole fight, Rubik was stuck in trees. He wasn't even there. They still won the fight. Incredible. Really well deserving of Microsoft. They played well.
Yeah. I mean, I'm really impressed that the Team Microsoft managed to just continue to just calmly play. During that mid-period where it felt like their Tier 1s and Tier 2s on all sides were just crumbling at such a gross pace. I mean, if you're Medusa and Luna and you really, really, really need a lot of farm to be a big threat and you're just like on your high ground, that's a very uncomfortable feeling. But they just tended to play very calmly and managed to get the win.
Helps to have heroes like Enigma that can just win team fights that are going sloppy, and he definitely did that a couple times. Like he was, him and Rubik basically just held the game together with these cores that need a lot of farm to be good. And just a couple throwy moments for Workday where they went a little bit overly aggressive, tried to get kills. Some Gyrocopter's items really hurt them in the last fight. His Aeon Disc went off during that fight when he's trying to right-click his opponent, and then all of a sudden he just does no damage for 2.5 seconds. Like, it's too hard to control Aeon Disc being useful at the right time, so he just needed to go Satanic with damage, and things would have been better. And the movement speed perk, it would have increased his GPM, among other things. So just a lot of issues that hurt their late game longevity. The Razor's build was, I think, good for the game, but it was hard for them to transition into just winning everything. But honestly, if the Untamed protects his Chronosphere all game, they win this for sure. Because there was at least like 5 Chronos that the Rubik got that turned fights around. If that just doesn't happen, they win.
Rubik. That was a dirty Rubik play. I mean, I feel like THC was the MVP of that final game. I mean, maybe the Morris, but there were so many counter Chronos. Oh, I mean, Chronosphere plus Black Hole, it's pretty good. It's pretty good, especially when you don't have to be Faceless Void.
Yeah, exactly. They didn't even have to pick Void. They had their own. was easy.
Well, let me just once again say big thanks to all the teams and players who participated this season of AHGL. We run this 2 seasons a year, and if you are a human who works at a company, who has people at your company to play the games that you do, here are the games that are going to be for the fall season. It's CSGO, Rocket League, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Heroes of the Storm, and Hearthstone. And, of course, you can go to discord.gg/AHGL to recommend additional games, or to just join the chat community. AHGL.tv is the website where you can go for more information. And in fact, if you literally stay right here, the StarCraft 2 finals are coming up right now, Kevin. Right now.
Can't wait.
Isn't
It should
that
be fun.
incroyable?
It is. Can't wait to see how the skill works out.
Well, let me once again just say the captain of Team Microsoft says, I'm really proud of my team for sticking through the tough times during the season, and thanks to all the admins and you and Purge for putting this on. Man, hell yeah. Let me tell you something. Games where you're trying to compete and trying to win don't have to be at pro level, Kevin.
Yeah.
They can just be a try-hard level.
It just helps. You just need the tournament format, and then everything feels like you're playing pro. So honestly, it feels the same.
It's great. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. Kevin, I'm literally just going to hang up on you right now because it's StarCraft 2 time, baby. I'm going to go ahead, and we're going to be literally right back. We're going to be back in approximately 5 minutes. That's it, just 5 minutes. And when we do, it's going to be me and the wonderful Maynard who will be casting alongside me. So thanks for joining us, guys. Stay tuned. And whoopsie daisies, I put the wrong graphic up. Just wait. Just check this out. And yes, it is going to be Amazon versus Amazon in the finals. Who will win? Who knows? Kevin, thanks a bunch. Cheers, dude.
Thanks.